All right. All right. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Let's continue writing this paper. Writing the paper. So, proof to Einstein or proof of Einstein? I still don't know. Proof to Einstein, proof of. So I changed the name. It's proof of Einstein's constant light speed postulate. All right. Okay. Uh, we are on Discord. Let me give you the link so you can join me on the Discord. On the Discord. Please join me on the Discord. Change this. Okay, audio is good. Audio is good. Audio is very good. Audio is very good. Audio is the best. We have the best audio. We have the best audio. We has the best audio. Just the best. Okay. Let's read a little. So, proof of Einstein. Proof. Everything should go to lowercase. I'm not gonna have everything in uppercase. No, forget it. Doesn't matter. So, proof of Einstein's special relativity's postulate. So, we need to copy his postulate. We need actually his postulate. We need to reference him with his postulate. Where's the paper? Where is the paper? Should be in Discord. We must have put a link to it here. Where is the paper? The paper. I don't think it's here. I don't think it's here. So let's go to this one. There will be no links here. Here? Oh, here? I don't know. I remember putting a link to it somewhere. I must have linked to it. So maybe it's a link. Maybe it's just a link. And there's no image to look for. So maybe it's just a link. I don't see just. This is YouTube. Wikipedia, YouTube. No, this is too long ago. Maybe this. Let's check this out. Looks like it on the electrodynamics of moving bodies. It is known that Maxwell's electrodynamics, as usually understood at the present time when applied to moving bodies, leads to asymmetries which do not appear to be inherent in the phenomena. Take, for example, the reciprocal electrodynamic action of a magnet and a conductor. The observable phenomenon here, he doesn't have like an abstract. He just plunges into the paper. And then kinematical part, definition of simultaneity. This is so dumb. What a waste of time. Jesus. On the relativity of lengths and times. Nonsense. I mean, this is good, but it's just wave mechanics. There's nothing, right? But okay, fine, whatever. I mean, now we know, but why am I the only one to understand it? Theory of the transformation of it's two words, coordinate, but this is a translation. and times from a stationary, see, every word is capitalized, from a stationary system to another system in uniform motion of translation relatively to the former. Oh my God, I'd rather kill myself. What is this? What is going on? What is this? And he's using calculus? Why would he use calculus? Hence, if x prime be chosen infinitesimally small, what a this is where is he going with all this? Linear function. Where is he going with all this? And this is not even halfway through. I don't know where he's going with this. All of this just for gamma? So much work for gamma? You can show gamma with simple wave mechanics. It's like it's within 1 minute. You don't need it's just geometry. You don't need all that. You don't need I don't even know what you did. You don't need anything. It's so much simpler. No one has pointed it out that you can derive it so much more simply. I mean, it's fine that they didn't know better. They were confused. The equations of the Lorentz transformation may be more simply deduced directly from the condition that in virtue of those equations, the relation, whatever, shall have as its consequence the second relation, whatever. Editor's note. In Einstein's original paper, the symbol for the coordinates of the moving system. I don't care. Physical meaning of the equations obtained in respect to moving rigid bodies and moving clocks. Mm-hmm. Surface, a rigid body which, well, the problem is that you have rigid bodies. Why do you have a rigid body? Everything is a wave. You shouldn't have a rigid body. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is we're only now getting through half through the paper. Jesus Christ, the composition of velocities. What? Where is he going with all this? I don't know where he's going with all this. What is going on here? Electrodynamical part, transformation of the Maxwell-Hertz equations for empty space on the nature of the electromotive forces occurring in a magnetic field during motion. Let the Maxwell-Hertz equations for empty space hold good for the stationary system K so that we have Jesus Christ will help us. Whoa, Jesus. Now, the principle of relativity requires that if the Maxwell-Hertz equations for empty space hold good in system K, they also hold good in system K, small k. That is theory of Doppler's principle and of aberration. I heard this word aberration before. In the system capital K, very far from the origin of coordinates, let there be a source of electromagnetic waves, which in a part of space containing the origin of coordinates may be represented to a sufficient degree of approximation by the equations. Jesus help us. Only Jesus will help us. No one else. What is going on here? Oh, I don't know. I don't know where he's going with this. Is he like explaining magnetics as a form of an electric field? I don't know. I mean, he did all that in one paper. Erroneously given as L. I don't know. transformation of the energy of light rays, theory of the pressure of radiation exerted on perfect reflectors. Since a squared over 8 pi equals the energy of light per unit volume, we have to regard whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't understand this. hmm Energy. hmm The difference of these two expressions is, by the principle of energy, the work done in agreement with experiment. Oh, he actually references experiment with other theories we obtained to a first approximation. Transformation of the Maxwell-Hertz equations when convection currents are taken into account. All right. I have no idea what he's trying to say. Even I don't even know what the titles mean. Dynamics of the slowly accelerated electron. Oh, I always think about this. This is always my go-to thought experiment starts with a slowly accelerated electron and then decelerated. But if you only accelerate it slowly, then it's even simpler, I guess. Let me check. Let me check what's going on. Uh-huh. hmm Okay. So let there be in motion in an electromagnetic field an electrically charged particle, the sequel called an electron, for the law of motion of which we assume as follows. If the electron is at rest at a given epoch, the motion of the electron ensues in the next instant of time according to the equations. This is the acceleration, ma is equal to, I think this is, I don't know. I mean, this should be f, where x, y, z denote the coordinate of the electron, and m the mass of the electron, as long as its motion is slow. Wow. Where x, y, z denote, all right, without affecting. Okay, at least we're coming towards the end of this paper. Longitudinal mass. Oh, this is good. This is mass transformation. This is relativistic mass, I guess. Fascinating. Fascinating. Uh, this is MC squared. Interesting. Is this the E equals MC squared paper? I don't see E equals MC squared, but there is something close. That is W. I think it's work. The energy he calls W, and that's equal MC squared, but this is relativistic E equals MC squared, I guess. Thus, when V equals C, W becomes infinite. Velocities greater than that of light have, as in our previous result, no possibility of existence. This expression for the kinetic energy must also, by virtue of the argument stated above, apply to ponderable masses. We will now enumerate the properties of the motion of the electron. P. Fascinating. Okay, let's see. About this document, this edition of Einstein's on the electrodynamics of moving bodies is based on the English translation of his original F5 German language paper published as Zur Elektrodynamik bewegter Körper. I don't know what that means. Well, Körper is probably body, like corpse. So this is moving. No. In Annalen der Physik. I guess this is analysis. Der Physik, which appeared in the book The Principle of Relativity, published 1923 by Methuen and Company, London. Most of the papers, so this is between World War I and II. Most of the papers in the collection are English translations from the German Das Relativitätsprinzip. I guess this is principle. So the principle of relativity. The principle of relativity. Published by, it doesn't say by whom, 1922, by Tubner. All of these resources are now in the public domain. This document derived from them remains in the public domain and may be reproduced in any manner. Numbered footnotes. This edition was prepared by John Walker. Formula. Where's formula? Where's that? The current version of this document. And that's the end. So what are Einstein's concluding remarks? In conclusion, I wish to say that in working at the problem here dealt with, I have had the loyal assistance of my friend and colleague M. Bezo, and that I am indebted to him for several valuable suggestions. That's the conclusion. These three relationships are a complete expression for the laws according to which, by the theory here advanced, the electron must move. Fascinating. We calculate the radius of curvature of the path of the electron when a magnetic force N is present. It's the only deflective force acting perpendicularly to the velocity of the electron from the second. Fascinating. Okay, let's go to the beginning. On the electrodynamics of moving bodies by A. Einstein, June 30th, 1905. June 30th. Yeah, my battery. June 30th. What is today's date? Today's August. August 14th. So it was last month. So it took under 120 years to see the issue with this paper. I'm not saying the paper is wrong. The paper is magical. It's not wrong. Magical in the negative connotation. It's unfounded. He skipped the foundation. I don't know how he knew to assume the correct assumption. I don't know if anyone knows. Why would you? I mean, he made the correct assumption in order for the universe to make sense. But you don't need to make this assumption. I mean, after you made the assumption, everything makes sense. Then you go back and you start asking, why did I have to make this assumption? What does it teach me? What did making this assumption teach me? This assumption tells you what? It must tell you that the universe is completely fluid, it's completely saturated, and everything is waving. That's the conclusion. Why did it take 120 years for me to come and say this? Everybody knows that this is the truth, but We have to say it explicitly. We have to stop teaching special relativity as a magical theory. It's a theory that the universe is magical. The universe is bizarre. It's weird. It conspires to hide uniform motion, as Professor Shankar of Yale said. The universe conspires to hide uniform motion from you. That's how he introduces relativity. Anyway, let's see if Einstein is as magical in this paper. It is known that Maxwell's electrodynamics, as usually understood at the present time, when applied to moving bodies, leads to asymmetries. I mean, it's right. Everybody measures the speed of light to be a constant. That's weird, and that's what Maxwell says. The speed of light is a constant. It doesn't say relative to what. It's like, okay, relative to the ether. Okay, but then we should have different results. So if we assume that we are not waving, that our brains are not waving, that we actually have particles, then yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Take, for example, the reciprocal electrodynamic action of a magnet and a conductor. So you move a magnet next to a conductor, and that induces an electric current, an electric field. The observable phenomenon here depends only on the relative motion of the conductor and the magnet, whereas the customary view draws a sharp distinction between the two cases in which either the one or the other of these bodies is in motion. I'm not sure what he's saying here. For if the magnet, I think he's thinking about absolute motion versus relative motion. For if the magnet is in motion and the conductor at rest, there arises in the neighborhood of the magnet an electric field with a certain definite energy, producing a current at the places where parts of the conductor are situated. But if the magnet is stationary and the conductor in motion, no electric field arises in the neighborhood of the magnet. In the conductor, however, we find an electromotive force. Doesn't matter what you move, you either move the magnet or the wire, you always get an electromotive force. So he's saying that doesn't make any sense. Why does that make no sense? I mean, I don't even understand his. This is his motivation. His entire motivation makes no sense. In the conductor, however, we find an electromotive force to which in itself there is no corresponding energy. What are you talking about? But which gives rise, assuming equality of relative motion in the two cases discussed, to electric currents of the same path and intensity as those produced by the electric forces in the former case. So there is no difference. What you move, you get the same result. And he's saying that's an asymmetry. It's an okay. But what Maxwell said, if you move the wire, you're not. What? Examples of this sort, together with the unsuccessful attempts to discover any motion of the Earth relatively to the light medium, this is so weird. But at least he's stating it correct that unsuccessful attempts to discover any motion. It's like we've been unable. But okay, I mean, this is 1,000 years ago. I think it's about time somebody tries to run these experiments like more like a human and not like a clown. Wait, um, am I streaming this? Yeah, I'm streaming. Okay, and oh, we have visitors. We had visitors when? Oh my God, this is like a million years ago, 20 minutes ago. I wish I wish YouTube would let me know, or StreamYard. I mean, StreamYard could let me know. Why can't they let me know that there's comments? I don't understand this. You should read the word until it makes sense. Skipping sections you don't get cannot be useful for understanding. I'm just reading the introduction. I'm dealing just with the postulate. I don't care about the paper. The paper is correct. I don't care. The paper is mostly correct because the postulate is correct. It's just that it's not a postulate. That's all I'm saying. You don't need to assume. He just starts from a magical assumption that no one understands and no one. So it's like, why would you start from that? So I'm just going back and I'm saying you don't need to jump, like he jump starts relativity. You don't need to. You can just assume fluid mechanics and wave mechanics, and that's it. That's it. Done. Done and done. That's all you need. You assume the ether, everything works out. You don't need any assumptions, no postulates, no conjectures. I don't even know what those are. You don't need anything. Just assume a fluid that fills the universe, that the universe is waving, and you have to assume that this entire universe is waving, that everything is a wave, and everything is waving through this ether. That's it. I know that's bizarre, but that is where the data leads. The evidence leads us to conclude to these conclusions. I like to read each paragraph until it makes sense. Sometimes you have to copy the math in your own hand to really understand each paragraph. That's not for me to do now. Maybe later. I don't disagree. From what I've seen, on YouTube, people explaining with animations, which is the easiest way to understand. Everything makes sense. It's a very logical explanation, but there is no theory. It's just wave mechanics. You could say maybe it's a theory, but it comes out of simple intuition of wave mechanics. That's all. I have to figure out how to get the comments to make any noise. Let me see. Comments. Can I ask StreamYard to tell me that there's incoming comments? Banners, brand, private chat. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Leave studio. No, I don't want to leave the studio. That's an image. There's like nothing. There's nothing. Settings. Let's see. General. Nothing. Uh, Guests can stream this to their own destinations. See viewer comments. Play sound when guests enter. Guests must authenticate. Band. Green room. Layout. Hotkeys. Maybe in hotkeys I can tell it something. Wait, can I pause? Mute. Camera. Share. Play. Pause. Shared video. Share second camera. Previous streaming. Start and pause. P. Pause and resume is P? Let's check. P. Wow. Oh, an error occurred. It doesn't work. This is so ridiculous. Press P and destroy your stream. Congratulations. Your stream has been destroyed. But you're not happy? You should be happy. 1 second. Okay, the stream has not been destroyed. And my Brave keeps logging me off and resetting all my settings. Um, mhm. Right. Everything is fine. Everything looks fine. Do we have any comments? I wish, like, I have my YouTube on my iPhone. I wish it would tell me. I wish YouTube would tell me when there is an incoming timestamp. Moderation activity, timestamps, community moderation participants. No, YouTube doesn't. YouTube will not tell me when there is an incoming. Engage with your audience. Start Q&A, start a poll. How can I ask YouTube to please let me know community moderation? Please let me know automated filters. No, I don't care. Cancel. Okay. Will you please let me know when there is an incoming comment? No, they will never let me know. Absolutely never. You know what I could do? I could just open my, just watch my own stream on YouTube. Let me see if I can do that. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Here's my own stream. Okay, like this. So from now on, I'm always gonna be looking out. But it wouldn't make a sound. I wouldn't know. I would have to constantly look. Okay, it's better than nothing. Okay. Okay. All right, examples of this sort together. I mean, if you want, Mr. Science Rediscovered, if you want to discuss this paper together, I would gladly discuss it. I mean, I've never looked at it. This is one of the first times I'm looking at it. Examples of this sort, together with the unsuccessful attempts, this sounds like he knew about Michelson and Morley. Discover any motion. I mean, only Michelson and Morley did this experiment, and he knew that it's been unsuccessful. That, I mean, it sounds like he knew about this experiment. Suggests that the phenomena of electrodynamics as well as of mechanics possesses no properties corresponding to the idea of absolute rest. Why? I mean, examples of this sort? What sort? What happened in the first paragraph that I missed? If you move the wire relative to the magnet or the magnet relative to the wire, you get the same result. What's the question? What is he talking about? What is the first paragraph even talking about? What asymmetry is he talking about? It is known that Maxwell's electrodynamics, isn't it electromagnetics? Why is it called electrodynamics? As usually understood at the present time, when applied to moving bodies, this is 1905. When was Maxwell? Like, Maxwell was before the Civil War. When applied to moving bodies, leads to asymmetries which do not appear to be inherent in the phenomena. What is he talking about? Take for example, I mean, the only problem I have is the speed of light. That's it. So Maxwell predicts the speed of light to be c, some number, and it sounds like it's relative to a fluid. 1 second, let me check a message. La 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 la. La 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 la. Wait, it said I got an email. I'm looking for emails. I don't see any email. I mean, I see nonsense. Nonsensical emails. Wait, what about my schedule? Do I have anything on the horizon? Wait, today's Wednesday? Oh, yeah, I went to a party yesterday. So soon we're going to get the TFM show running in the background. I used to love it so much, and now I barely listen to him. He's like completely off the deep end. So I don't understand. You know what? Let me ask Mr. Cheat GPT. Let's ask Chat GPT. Let me get Chat GPT going. La 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 la. I wish I could play background music. You know what? We can play some background music on StreamYard. Brand. I think brand allows you to play show display a logo. Do we? We can remove the logo. Why do we have this logo getting in the way? La 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 la. Joyeux, joyeux. La 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 la. Background. Background music. Oh, look at this. That's good. I mean, it's too loud. It's good to have something in the background. And I can add music, my own. Let's see, rock. One second, let me raise the volume. That's good. Night driving. Wow. That's great. Lofi. Amazing. Into space. That's good. Feeding the ducks. Amazing. Daydreaming. Wow. This is amazing. Dance pop. Amazing. They're so delicious. Oh my god. And I can add my own music, but I probably need it to be drag and drop music. I probably need to buy it or something. No. Okay, what did I like the most? Okay, let's start with rock. Let's do it. Uh, let's do 20%. I hope it sounds okay. Let me check it. Check it. It sounds okay. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I'm hearing myself. That's why it's. Oh, I see. I need to mute the mic in order to listen to it. No, that's not gonna work. I can't mute myself. Alright, forget it. So just give me feedback. Feed me back. Feed me back. Alright. So what do we got? Let's go back to this papel. Let's copy and paste it with ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, try ChatGPT. Do I need to log in? Log in. Yeah, log in. Continue with the Google. La la. Continue with the Google. All right. What's my birthday? I don't know. What's today? Today is August. Let's say, what is today? Who knows? Does anybody know? Today's 14th. And the year that I was born is 1999, of course. Okay, we did not log in. Oh, it's logging in. Ask away. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, everything seems okay. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info. Okay, share. So let me paste Einstein here and see what we got. Let's see what it. Okay, this passage highlights a key issue in classical electromagnetism related to the concept of relative motion between a magnet and a conductor. A conductor is a wire. It is a part of the introduction to Albert Einstein's seminal 1905 paper on special relativity, titled On the Electrodynamics of Moving Bodies. Here, Einstein points out the asymmetry the classical electrodynamics Maxwell's equations exhibits when dealing with moving bodies. In classical physics, there is a distinction between the following scenarios: magnet in motion, conductor at rest. An electric field is created in the vicinity of the moving magnet. This electric field induces an electric current in a stationary conductor. Conductor in motion. Magnet at rest. No electric field is generated around the stationary magnet. What are you talking about? There's always a magnetic field around the magnet. You can see it when you put a magnet and like under the paper, and over the paper you put like small pieces of iron shavings, and you see the field. Instead, an electromotive force is directly induced in the moving conductor, resulting in the same current as in the first case. Einstein notes that the observable phenomenon, the electric current, is the same in both cases. Yet the traditional interpretation distinguishes between them based on which object is in motion. This distinction seems unnecessary, as the phenomenon depends only on the relative motion between the magnet and the conductor, not on their absolute states of motion. I don't understand what he's saying. This observation is crucial because it suggests that the laws of physics, particularly those governing electromagnetism, should not depend on the state of motion of an observer. Observer? What? This insight led Einstein to develop the theory of special relativity, which postulates that the laws of physics are the same for all observers. I never heard anyone discusses this. What is he talking about? The only problem is the speed of light. What is he talking about? What am I missing? When people introduce special relativity, they discuss the speed of light. How could the speed of light be a constant? That's it. That's all. How could you moving measure the speed of light c if I'm stationary and I'm also measuring the speed of light c? I'm seeing you measure the speed of light at c. How is that possible? That's like it's insane. If you assume that, or right, if you don't assume the ether, nothing makes any sense. This universe makes no sense if you don't assume ether. This insight led Einstein to develop the theory of special relativity, which postulates that the laws of physics are the same for all observers in uniform motion relative to each other, thus eliminating the asymmetry in the description of the electromagnetic phenomenon. I don't understand what he's saying. I don't understand this asymmetry. This conversation, it's a little bit helpful, but not really. So I don't understand this. Understand The asymmetry. Is this how you spell asymmetry, or maybe double M? I don't understand the asymmetry. Could you please expound? Wait, I have messages on. Let's check. I need to wipe my nose. My nose. My poor nose. Okay. Roue des trois frères. Anything interesting? A British man has been sentenced to 8 weeks in prison for the crime of posting against open borders on social media. Ouch, ouch. Ouch. Ouch, ouch. Wow. Wow, absolutely amazing. Okay, let's. Oh, and there's the problem. My phone shuts down, so I need to keep opening it in order to see. And I'm going to run out of the battery. That's why I never do it. It's impossible. What else should I do? I don't know what else to do. I just wish I had a notification. Is it too much to ask to get a notification when somebody texts in the chat? What is going on? You know what? I could run the studio, but that's not gonna help me because they don't notify me either. Notifications, comments. No, they don't show the comments from the chat. They don't help me look at the chat. Comments, content. And even the current live stream, let me see, is it here? No. This is from 14 hours ago. They don't even have the current live stream on this in the studio available for me to participate in. It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. The double slit experiment. Okay, comments. The double slit published. I haven't. Two? What do you mean two? Published? I haven't responded. The fabric. Oh, we have a comment from. Wow, somebody wrote a long comment. The fabric of space is not a solid. Space-time is a mathematical construct. It has no material properties. Wow, people believe this? So sad. Space-time is a metric. In physics, a metric is a numerical value. This is so ridiculous. So ridiculous. So ridiculous. Sebi does this. Okay. MIT engineer from a month ago had really strong arguments, so it's difficult. Debate with X-Lord about should we like or hate billionaires. Wow, okay, I'm not a vegan, okay. Okay, but there's no way, okay, this is a good app, but we're up to 178 subscribers. We need more subscribers. We need 178 trillion imagine we're gonna have 178 trillion subscribers. Could you imagine that? Oh, that's useless. Okay. Switch account, settings, feedback, YouTube, settings. Choose your preference, push, all settings, comments, all comments. Maybe now it's gonna actually let me know when a comment comes in. Currency, permission, creator, demographics, appearance. Maybe now it will be better. I don't know. Okay, so we can't even use the studio app. Wait. Yeah. Well, at least we have background music. That's nice. Okay. Oh, comment. No, I couldn't hear your comment. You see, and there's no time. It doesn't tell me the time when you made this comment. Let me show your comment. When does this? Oh, it's from a minute ago. There was no indication that the comment came in. You want to try that again? Anyway, it's hopeless. But you should know. Oh, you don't. You don't make videos. Science rediscovered. Science rediscovered. You don't want to join me in my Discord and we can discuss this paper? Because I'm not. I don't understand. I mean, I don't understand this. I don't understand what Einstein is saying in the first paragraph. Like, what asymmetry? I understand that there's an asymmetry with the speed of light. Speed of light ends up being ridiculous. I could never understand it. The only solution is it's wave mechanics. If you assume everything is waving, then it's straightforward. That's the only solution to this paradox. There is no other solution. The other solution is it's not a solution. What people teach special relativity is, well, it's special relativity is given. I mean, everything is given. Nothing is mechanical. It's so stupid. So stupid. You see, you may no. I'm not getting any indication that the comments are coming in. No indication. There's no way I can get an indication. I don't know what to do. I'm working. I can listen and type, but I can't speak. LOL. Well, at least you're working. That's good. Anyway, I don't know what to do. I wish I could like rip the chat to the side so I can always see it no matter what window, because I'm never in the window of StreamYard. I never go to this window. Like, I only visit this window like once in a while. Most of the time I'm streaming other windows. So I don't know what to do. I wish I don't know what to do. I'm dying. Sharing. Okay. So. Okay, let's go to. I'll just have it open. I'll have YouTube open once in a while. I'll open YouTube in my phone. I don't know what else to do. It's like. Okay, let's see what you're saying. I don't think you're necessarily wrong or anything like that, but I think that it is just wave mechanics, and I don't think anyone disagrees. I just think that Einstein work is like bonus wave material. No way. Because you have to assume that the universe is filled with this liquid, this fluid. No one talks about. Everyone here. I'm reading a comment. Somebody says, "No, the fabric is just a mathematical and analytical tool. There's nothing there," and that's ridiculous. No one agrees. No one agrees that there is an ether. No one agrees that you can discover the ether with an interferometer. No one agrees, right? They claim, no one says Michelson and Morley actually were correct. We just didn't. They just didn't have the technology. But today we rediscovered the ether. No one says the ether exists. Everybody makes fun of the ether. If you talk about the ether, you're basically calling yourself a flat earther. You don't think so? No. What are you talking about? When I discovered this, it was completely revolutionary. No one is talking the way I'm talking. Are you out of your mind? And no one says that everybody. Einstein said it's the curvature of space-time. it's the curvature of space. It's not curvature. The geometry that he used as an analytical tool is called curved geometry. That's not the conclusion. The conclusion is that space, and not space time. There's no time. Time has nothing to do with it. There is space that is flowing. There's no space time. There's just space. Stop saying space time. There's no space time. What is that? What is space time? Stop saying space time. There's only space. Space flows in an absolute way. And space is called ether. Ether flows. It is gravity. It is what is dragging the apple towards the earth. No one has ever said this. No one in the history of no one. No one says this ever. And if you tell this to someone, they think you lost your mind. What are you talking about? You don't think so? You've been listening to me for too long. I assumed Einstein was saying here is a wave equation. No, he talks about trains. You said this yesterday. You said you prefer Einstein's train over my rubber ducky. And I said Einstein's train doesn't exist. It's a wave. That's why he's confused. That's why everyone is confused. And Einstein says there is no ether. He literally says it in this is exactly what I'm reading from. He says it literally. There is no ether. Examples of this sort, together with the unsuccessful attempts to discover any motion of the Earth relative to the light medium, suggest that the phenomena of electrodynamics as well as mechanics possesses no properties corresponding to the idea of absolute rest. Are you out of your mind? Everyone agrees. Everyone agrees with what I just read. So you have to decide. It's either Einstein or me. You can't have both. Either you have absolute rest, which is the ether, or you don't. You can't have both. You can't tell me that Einstein agrees with me. Not in this paper. You saying I assumed Einstein was saying, here is a wave equation. He actually never used any wave equations. I mean, Maxwell gives us a wave equation. Einstein doesn't even discuss the speed of light in the first paragraph as an asymmetry. That's the only asymmetry I know of. What other asymmetry do you get? I don't know. I don't know what he wants with the I couldn't. If you understand the asymmetry, let me know. I don't understand his asymmetry. His first paragraph about asymmetries, it's like right over my head. I don't know what he's talking about. There is a magnetic field. The magnet has a magnetic field. Everybody knows that. Every child knows it. You know it from kindergarten. And whether you move the magnet over the wire or the wire over the magnet, what's the difference? Where's the asymmetry? What? I don't even know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. No one teaches introduction to special relativity using this asymmetry. I've never heard the word asymmetry in my life, except for, asymmetry, but not in reference to the derivation of special relativity. Everyone, I've gone through so many people who teach special relativity. I'm at this point I don't care for it anymore. But everyone basically starts from the contradiction of the speed of light, because everyone measures the speed of light to be the same constant. This is baffling. How could that be? That's how everyone begins. He doesn't begin this way, even though that's the first thing you see from Maxwell. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know. I assumed Einstein was saying here is a wave equation. You mean no? He didn't mention the way. He didn't mention the wave equation or the speed of light. He talked about the magnet and the conductor. And if it has mass, well, mass comes up towards the end. And move fast, the wave is too heavy to move. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, Maybe I am way off base, but I thought that Einstein was like photons or waves. I don't think the word photon was invented until many, many years after. I heard that Einstein never used the word photon. Let me look 1 second for the word. The word photon shouldn't be here. There's no photon. The word light shows up 51 times. So here's the first time, the light medium. That he doesn't even say ether, but this is a translation from German, so maybe he did say. Namely, that light is always propagated in empty space with a definite velocity. Yeah, this is his postulate. This is what I'm. This is where I'm heading. So to the status of postulate. I don't even know what he means. We will raise this conjecture, the purport of which will hereafter be called the principle of relativity, to the status of a postulate, and also introduced another postulate which is only apparently irreconcilable with the former, namely that light is always propagated in empty space with a definite velocity c, which is independent of the state of motion of the emitting body. These two postulates, so the first one I think is um, mechanics, that Newton laws. As I was listening today to Lenny Susskind teaching the second time that he was teaching online special relativity. So in his introduction, he says the laws of juggling. Juggling have laws. There are laws how to juggle. So the laws of juggling don't change if you're juggling in a moving train or in a stationary train. So I think this is the first postulate. And the second postulate, right? The first postulate is basically Galilei. It's called Galilean relativity, even though Lenny Susskind says, I never read Galileo, I don't speak his language, I never read Newton, even though he should be able to read Newton. He said he never read their original documents. Anyway, we will raise this conjecture, or whatever. Okay, anyway, let's look for the word light. We might, of course, content ourselves with time values. Can you see this? Yeah, you can see it. With time values determined by an observer stationed together with the watch at the origin of the core. I think this is the simultaneity, his discussion of simultaneity. Yeah, definition. Well, at least I'm beginning to understand the outline of his document. Oh, look, Newtonian. He says Newtonians explicitly. Let us take a system of coordinates in which the equations of Newtonian mechanics hold good. This is the juggling, the laws of juggling. In order to render our presentation more precise and to distinguish the system, and then, okay, whatever. It's not. I mean, everything he says is not important. It's like listening to Shankar yesterday from Yale or 2 days ago. Like, it's very confusing. We don't need this confusion. You don't gain anything from all this confusion. It's just wave mechanics. If you just assume wave mechanics, like in Dialect's video about the sound clock, in 1 minute you understand time dilation. With the rubber ducky, you understand it right away. You understand the rubber ducky time dilation instantaneously. It's like it's obvious. It's like what are you trying to say? Then you say, well, this is an analogy, but a real analogy to our brain. So our brain waves just like light waves. So our brain is light waves. That's why we always measure the speed of light c, even if we're moving or stationary. Anyway, let's get back to your questions. You have good questions. But I thought that Einstein was like photons are waves, and here is property of wave. So that would have been actually good. I mean, let's see if he uses the word waves in his document. That's actually a good point. Let's see the word wave 12 times. So this is the first time. We're on page, I think, 8. And we're at the section, page 8 out of, how many pages is this? 24. Okay, on page 8, so it's 1/3 through, but what is the name of the section? Theory. This is section 3. Shut up, Siri. Theory of the transformation of coordinates and times from a stationary system to another system in uniform motion of translation relatively to the form. I think this is just time dilation, right? This is just time dilation. Theory of the transformation of coordinates and times. It's so confusing. It's so unnecessary. This paper needs to go. I mean, this is good stuff just to learn for the rest of history how not to do science. That's all that this paper is good for. I mean, this is the most, not the most, but like, I mean, obviously it's terrible. Wait a minute. So section 2 is relativity of length and time. So what is section 3? Theory of transformation of coordinates. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard of this transformation of coordinates. And he has derivatives. What is tau? I don't know what tau is. Is tau proper time or something? I don't know. I don't know what is tau. It's some function. I don't care. Anyway, where's the word wave? Let's see. The word wave at the time t equals tau equals 0. Oh, I guess it's the transformation. When the origin of the coordinates is common to the two, so this is the way they teach simultaneity. Let a spherical wave be emitted therefrom and be propagated with the velocity c in system K. So he treats light as a wave, but without the ether. So he creates a problem and solves it. This is what this paper is. This paper is, let's create a universe with no ether, in which it doesn't make any sense for waves to propagate. Okay, you got that? Right? That makes 0 sense, right? There's no way to understand it, right? Good. Now that we're confused and the universe makes 0 sense, now let's make sense of this universe. That's this paper. That's this paper. It's like, let's imagine a universe in which waves propagate in a vacuum. Okay? You good? Yes, right? Does that make sense? No, right? This is completely nonsensical. This is completely unscientific. It's not even unscientific. It's definitionally nonsense. It's definitionally nonsensical. A wave by definition propagates through a medium. That is the definition of a wave. To assume that a wave can propagate without a medium is definitionally undefined. What do you want me to do with my life? It's not. It's complete and utter nonsense by the definition of the words nonsense. There's nothing else to say. And the world worships this paper as the seminal. The seminal paper. The seminal. What seminal? There's nothing seminal. This is nonsense. I don't know what am I supposed to do with this? It's complete nonsense. So, yeah, I don't know what, I mean, obviously, this is where science took its worst turn ever. This is why we had the past 120 years of this dark ages of science. That's the reason. He brought with, it's not he did it, but the scientific edifice, the scientific industrial complex, with with all its greatness, came to a screeching halt because of this. This is where everything took the wrong turn. This paper is, I'm bewildered. I'm bewildered. This is the dumbest paper imaginable, and this became the greatest paper imaginable. So of course you're going to completely annihilate science. This is the end of science. Science has to come to a complete halt. Why is the music stopped? Okay, it starts again. Good. Let's switch to the next track. I want to hear the next track. I'll be right. I'll keep reading your questions. Science rediscovered. 1 second. Let's go to night driving. Okay, so we were in this comment from Science Rediscovered. Let's go. Wait, gravity? Photons are waves, and here is property of wave in gravity? What? Maybe I'm way off base, but I thought that Einstein was like photons. Well, he doesn't say photons are waves. What about his Gedanken experiment with his photon clock? Let's say the photon clock. Well, he doesn't say the word photon, obviously. What about clock? 52 times. So in page 2, the theory to be developed is based, like all electrodynamics, on the kinematics of the rigid body. Okay, there's your problem. If you're talking about rigid bodies, yeah, you're going to have a problem because there are no rigid bodies in the universe. We know this today. So why aren't people going back to his theory and revising it today? Knowing there are no rigid bodies, throw this paper to the garbage. No, but they keep teaching this. This is like the introduction to modern physics is special relativity. Wait. Okay. How long have we been streaming? An hour and 12 minutes. Okay, let's read this. The theory on the kinematics of the rigid body, since the assertions of any such theory have to do with the relationships between rigid bodies, systems of coordinates, clocks, and electromagnetic processes. Okay. An insufficient consideration of this circumstance lies at the root of the difficulties which the electrodynamics of moving bodies at present encounters. I barely understand this English. Whatever. This is where he says clocks. Let's see the next clock. That train arrives here at 7 o'clock. I mean, something like this. Wow. The pointing of the small hand of my watch to 7. Wow, he's actually discussing what a clock is. And if we wish to describe the motion of a material point, we give the value of its coordinate as function at the time. Now we must bear carefully in mind that a mathematical description of this kind has no physical meaning unless we are quite clear as to what we understand by time. Well, at least he's defining time scientifically. We have to take into account that all our judgments in which time plays a part are always judgments of simultaneous events. I don't know what he's talking about. If, for instance, I say that train arrived, I don't care. I mean something like this. The pointing of the small hand of my watch, okay, whatever. It might appear possible to overcome all difficulty attending the time by substituting the position of the small hand for that. And in fact, okay, whatever. I don't care. where is his thought experiment? Where's his Gedanken? Let's look for thought. Only one place. Page 3. We arrive at a much more practical determination along the following line of thought. So, what about experiment? 6 times. As we know from experience. No, 4 experiments. Okay. On page 3. Thus, with the help of certain imaginary physical experiments, these are imaginary experiments, good, we have settled what is to be understood by synchronous stationary clocks located at different places and have evidently obtained a definition of simultaneous or synchronous and of time. The time of an event, okay, whatever. In agreement with experiment and with other theories, we obtain to a first approximation. Jesus, this is the cosine squared of phi divided by 8 pi. What is that? All problems in the optics of moving bodies can be solved by the method. This is page 19. Method here employed. What is essential is that the electric and magnetic force of the light, which is influenced by a moving body, be transformed into a system of coordinates at rest relatively to the. He says relatively, but that's the translator. Okay, by this means, all problems in the optics of moving bodies will be reduced by a series of problems in the optics of stationary bodies. I don't know what he's talking about. I have no idea what he's talking about. That was the second experiment. Third mention of experiment. We will now, page 23, we will now enumerate the properties of the motion of the electron which result from the system of equations A and are accessible to experiment. This is towards the very end. This is the one before the last page. And the last one, this relationship may be tested experimentally since the velocity of the electron can be directly measured by means of rapidly oscillating electric. One of the things is everybody keeps saying that the theory of relativity is the most successful theory ever. And that is nonsensical. Like, a lot of stuff has not been tested. I don't think that an accelerating clock has ever been tested. For example, of course, the ether, the interferometer has never been properly tested. Let me see, I have something important. Okay, got it. I asked my friend who is a doctor for his prognosis. Okay, forward to forward. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So I don't see his photon clock. Where is his famous photon clock? Clocks failing experiments are done every second. Your kitchen clocks are failing down to the ground. They are just currently stuck to the wall. I'm reading your last comment from my iPhone. I don't know, but where is his clock thought experiment? Where is his ping pong photon thought experiment? Let me look this up. Let me ask ChatGPT, where did Einstein talk about his photon clock thought experiment? Okay, Einstein did not explicitly describe the photon clock thought experiment himself. Instead, it is a concept developed later to illustrate the principles of special relativity, particularly time dilation. Photon clock thought experiment. The photon clock thought experiment is a tool. So when everybody teaches section 2, okay, I'll get to it. When everybody teaches special relativity, they quote Einstein all the time, but now I see that we can't even depend on them to properly quote Einstein. Like we cannot trust anyone. Everyone is misquoting, misremembering. It's nonsensical. You can't live your life like this. This is so unscientific. So Einstein never did not explicitly describe the photon clock. You know how many times people told me that Einstein invented the photon clock thought experiment? It's like that's how everyone teaches this on YouTube. Everyone talks about it as if Einstein came up with this thought experiment. The photon clock thought experiment is a tool used to explain how time dilation works in special relativity. Here is a brief overview of the thought experiment. I don't care. If Einstein didn't invent it, I don't care. Einstein introduced the principle of special relativity 1905 paper, Electrodynamics, Moving Bodies. Let me I'll remove your comment just so I can read more clearly. 1 second. Oh my God, this is oh my God, this is ridiculous. This is the scientific process is so messy. Where he discussed the implications of the constancy of constancy. I didn't know you can say that word, constancy, of the speed of light and the relativity of simultaneity. The concepts of time dilation and length, I don't care. The photon clock thought experiment is a pedagogical tool. 1 second, what's the battery? I need battery. Come here, battery. Come here. Come here, young battery. There you go, young battery. Very young battery. Okay. Yeah. So I don't care. The photon clock thought experiment is a pedagogical tool that was developed later to help students and readers understand the counterintuitive nature of relativistic time dilation that I can turn into a bathtub baby toy. That's how counterintuitive. It is so counterintuitive. How can you imagine? It's so counterintuitive. I don't know. It's so counterintuitive. This universe is magical. This universe is even weirder than we could imagine it could be. It's so counterintuitive that we can create a baby toy to demonstrate how counterintuitive it is. Unbelievable. What a joke. And ChatGPT has been brainwashed to believe this. Unbelievable. Let me ask ChatGPT. Isn't the theory of special relativity just a direct consequence of wave mechanics? The theory of special relativity and wave mechanics are related, but special relativity is not merely a direct consequence of wave mechanics. Both are foundationally concepts in physics, but they address different aspects of physical phenomena. So you're telling me that I'm repeating Einstein? ChatGPT has been trained on the internet. Here is how they are connected and distinct. Background: special relativity was introduced by Einstein. It was developed to resolve inconsistencies in Maxwell's blah blah and Newtonian blah blah, particularly blah blah. Key postulates: principle of relativity. The laws of physics are the same for all observers in uniform motion relative to one another. The constant of the speed of light in a vacuum is constant and is the same for all observers regardless. Consequences: time dilation, moving. Wave mechanics. Wave mechanics is part of quantum mechanics. Did you know that wave mechanics is part of quantum mechanics? Okay, now we know why. No, I don't mean that wave mechanics. I mean wave, like water wave mechanics. It's impossible to talk to ChatGPT. I'm talking about wave mechanics. Wave, not the wave particle duality. No, no, no. Key concepts. No, 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 no. Of fluid. Let's say of fluid mechanics. I can change it. Not wave mechanics. Fluid mechanics. But fluid mechanics is the motion. Fluid mechanics is GR. So let's say fluid wave mechanics. Let's paste it here. Let's see what it says. Theory of special relativity is not a direct consequence. Let's see that this time it understands that we're not talking about quantum, time dilation, fluid. Fluid wave mechanics is concerned with the behavior of waves in fluids. It involves classical mechanics, wave propagation, fluid dynamics, relationship to relativity, medium dependence. Fluid waves require a medium to propagate, whereas electromagnetic waves, such as light, do not require a medium and travel through a vacuum. You want to tell me that me and Einstein agree? Speed of waves. In fluid mechanics, wave speed is dependent on the medium's properties, unlike the constant speed of light postulated in special relativity. You tell me that I agree with Einstein on anything? Differences. Medium requirement. Principles. Okay, medium. Fluid wave mechanics requires a medium for wave propagation, whereas special relativity applies to light waves, which can propagate in a vacuum. I agree with Einstein? Conclusion. Fluid mechanics and wave phenomena. They are not directly related because for some reason you can have waves without a medium. I don't know. I don't know how, but that's why I'm a schlub and Einstein, is famous. Let's go to the next comment. All right. If you ignore the people and only pretend to have a conversation with Einstein, silence all high schoolers, and follow his words. He said photoelectric effect exists. Photons are waves and do stuff. Okay, but in this paper, not in this paper. That's like in a different. You don't have to convince me that if you put all of Einstein together, you get me. But in this paper, separately, this paper is garbage. This paper is against reality. So I don't know what to tell you. This is anti-reality. This is anti-scientific. This paper is anti-scientific. Let me hear the TFM show started. I'm wondering what he's going to say now that Ukraine invaded Russia. Of course, he's going to downplay it. Let me see. Give me a second. Share this. Any comments on the YouTubes? Artificially. Nothing interesting. Zabin. Crazy new physics anomaly. Antimatter helium detected. The states. Dave, NASA, professor. Okay, let's see. The TFM show live. Live. The TFM show doesn't show up here. Do I show up here? I'm live. Oh, Tim Pool is live. Timcast. Democrats, Kamala caught editing news headlines to make fake endorsements. Okay. But where am I? Why am I not here? What is this? CPI Day. Day trading using ICT concepts. She's a day trader. Interesting. And she makes money? Does she show her portfolio? Is she transparent with her portfolio? I'd be surprised.
Last week threw me in for a doozy there.
What is she trading?
We'll see.
What is she trading?
As long as you're enjoying it, the process, like that's really what matters.
What's her theory?
And like that's why a lot of people, the people that like stick through to trading, you know, it's because they actually love it. They love the process. They love doing it. Because how else are you gonna stick through sucking and losing money all the like? How does this like not look straight to me? It is though.
So she loses money?
Whatever.
She enjoys it? What's going on? No talking?
Yeah, well, it's going to be low probability if it doesn't display us, obviously. But, you know, it's not even doing anything here on the 5 right now.
What is she looking at?
Oh no, this crooked line. The crooked line.
She looks at...
Our internet dad hates when we do that.
She does technical analysis?
Okay.
I mean, I guess in
what did I miss?
You begin to feel... You start developing... That's possible, I guess.
Yes.
Anyway,
Daddy.
who else is live? That's it? I'm not live? Why am I not here? 59 watching. What's the smallest one? Actually, 59?
I used to know somebody like that.
Just 59? So it's not one watching.
So
I have more than one watching. How many are watching? I have one watching. Okay. So why not show me? Or did we miss me?
Who's gonna win the
250,
and they did
300. Oh, he's not showing. YouTube is not showing TFM. Wait, who's that? Coffee with Scott Adams. Who's Scott Adams?
I'm a item. We're good.
748.
Definitely wanted to show.
Lead attorney.
I'm gonna pause right here and pick back up.
Lil Woody is back on the stand. Wow, YouTube is so great. Okay, what else we got?
Stuff in it that we don't think kids should have.
25,000 are watching Dim Tool. Okay.
Size city or a large city.
Venezuelan crisis.
Corruption, all that.
Amazing.
That all makes sense. And also...
Then everything else that has taking in this structure now has to upgrade itself to use.
Amazing.
Yep.
Gone trucking.
Oh, yeah. You guys are like,
this
come on, bro.
Actually trucking?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you do every retarded move ever?
Oh, it was the... Only 29 watching. And this, Russia versus Ukraine, live state of emergency declared in Novgorod, Russia. Wow, the Russians are beginning to feel the wrath of the Ukrainians. Computational mathematics, undergraduate, computer science education. Wow, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, let's look for TFM. I don't think it's called TFM show. So it should be Blue State Survivalist is the name of the channel. It's not live? Oh, maybe in an hour? It's impossible to know. They just spring to life on time. I thought it should have started already. Okay, whatever. Okay, let's get back to our stream. La la la. Okay, so let me share this tab. Okay, so if you ignore the people and only pretend to have a conversation with Einstein, well, which Einstein? Einstein 1920 at the right after he finished his lecture at Leiden? He said basically what I'm saying. So, but does anyone care? No, no one cares. People know Einstein from the paper that says there is no ether. There is no ether, there is no ether, there is no ether. If you say there is ether, you're a flat earther. You might as well say the earth is flat. It's we didn't land on the moon or whatever, nonsense. The nonsense of the day. Well, there is no, and I forgot to mention, if anyone gets a chance to put a bullet through Putin's face, I'd consider that a personal favor. Thank you. Humanity thanks you. So, well, there is no absolute rest. We should get this trending. Somebody put a bullet through Putin's face, please. Okay, well, there is no absolute rest. Somebody get it trending. Well, there is no, why don't you make a short of me saying that? Well, there is no absolute rest. What do you mean? If you believe in ether, so you have to pick your hero. Either I'm your hero or Einstein is your hero. Whose side do you pick? So I say there is absolute rest as defined by the ether. All we have in this universe is the ether. This universe is immersed in the ether. The ether seems to be the thing that the universe waves through. Everything we know as matter is just the waves in the ether. The rest is the ether. What you call, empty space, that's the ether. It's not empty. Everybody agrees it's not empty, but what looks like empty space to us, that's filled with a very rigid fluid called the ether. It's difficult to believe because we are ourselves waving through this ether. So it's difficult to believe it. Anyway, you cannot be at absolute rest, well, with respect to the ether. I don't know what it means. If you don't define what you mean, I don't know what you mean. Where is the place in the universe that is not moving? The ether. As far as I know, the ether is what the universe is submerged in. This is incredible. The universe is submerged. Somebody's with us? Oh, hello. Hello.
Yo, Mr. Slave.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, bro.
Yes, how can I help you? How can I help you? Do you have a question? What? Do you have a question?
I want something from you.
You want something or you don't want something?
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Do you want something from me?
I would like to ask you something.
Go ahead. Ask me something.
Tearing left.
What? Tyrion left?
Go.
What?
minute per minute.
Okay, so when you're ready, let me know because I'm answering questions in the background. Okay, so
What do you think? What do you think philosophy? Philosophy, top one.
what do I think of philosophy? Turbo end
Top one. In tier F. Yeah. Tier list in chat.
in chat.
Chat
Chat
VC.
VC. I don't see anything. Oh, let me scroll to the bottom 1 second. Okay.
Tier list.
Uh,
Do you know philosophy?
what is this? What you're showing me an image of something? What is this?
Yeah, name is toxic and infinity and
What is this? Let me
and
see.
yani
Tier marker. Tier
big debater.
0. IP. I can barely. Cosmic Skeptic is your tier 0? Why?
Yeah, cosmic skeptic.
Why? Dr. Avi is tier 1? Ask yourself, is tier 1? Why?
Yeah,
I mopped the floor with both Dr. Avi and myself. Completely, it's recorded. I thoroughly mopped the floor with their faces. The first day I debated, I mopped the floor with their faces. So why would you consider them? I mean, I agree.
and Beetlejuice is the good debater.
I don't know Beetlejuice. I don't know. I never heard of this guy. I don't know.
Tier one.
Tier 1. Yeah, I see him. But look, Dr. Avin, ask yourself in synth. I mop the floor with synth. But they are good debaters, but they're not honest. Why? Like, if a person is not honest, he's garbage. I don't care that someone is a good debater. It doesn't help me. I need someone to be honest. Dr. Avi, ask yourself, and synths are dishonest people.
Where do you place yourself here?
I'm just honest. I don't care. I don't care for this list. I'm like, I don't want to win. Like, if I have to debate someone about, if I have to debate someone about something I don't believe in, then I'm not going to debate. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not a good debater.
Andrew saying you are the best debater.
But I'm not. I'm just, look, I'm not a debater. I'm honest. As long as I'm honest, how can you beat me if I'm honest? I'm honest when, mostly I win, but sometimes I lose because sometimes I stress test new ideas. So what? I don't care if I lose. I'm not here to win. I'm here because I'm curious about the universe. And if you can show me that I'm wrong about something, then you're not a better debater. You're just I'm grateful. It's nothing to do with
bro.
So
What is your religion, bro?
no, I don't discuss anything that has to do with. I'm an atheist. Oh yeah, I forgot. Everybody knows I'm an atheist.
Yeah.
Do
you know toxic, bro? Toxic in high tier 2?
No, I don't. I barely know any of these people. I mean, I know Shapiro.
What? No one.
I don't know anybody. How could I know these people from where? But why am I not on this list? Who made this list?
This list.
Made it. Who made this tier maker or whatever?
Yeah,
Who made it? You made it?
What?
Did you make this? Did you make?
No. I am Arabic. This tier is English.
I see. Okay. Anyway, I don't understand. Whoever made it, I don't know why you made it. So it's not important.
Yeah.
It's not important. Like, people who are good debaters, you should probably stay away from them because they have a lot on the line. They have a lot to lose. So they will try to win even if they feel that they are wrong. So you should stay. That means they are just good liars. So why would you be with people who are good liars? What do you gain from that? Do you want to learn how to be a good liar? Why would you want that? What's the purpose of being a good liar? I don't see the gain. Like, you want people who are honest, who have nothing to lose. Like a person that says, I'm an idiot all the time, I'm the dumbest in the room. That's who you want to be with, because that person will be honest, hopefully. Start,
Look, look,
maybe.
look, look, man. Mr. Slave, look,
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
Who is the best debater for you?
Maybe Andrew. Andrew, my friends, the people who come to the chat and debate.
Andrew, my Andrew, your friend.
Yes, he's my friend, of course. Andrew is a good friend,
Yeah.
and Judas is a good friend. So a good debater.
He, he is a good debater.
He's a good friend. I don't know what a debater is.
Good friend, good friend, but bad debater.
I don't care if you're a good or bad debater. I just care if you're a good friend. If you're a good friend, you're going to be honest. So I need people to be honest. I don't care anything else. I just care for honesty. Look, you have to have a high IQ to,
You care about friendship, just.
No, I don't care about friendship. I care about the truth. I'm curious about the universe. And I think we can make this universe a much better place. But we have to be honest. You cannot improve the universe if you're not honest. So the people on this list, they're not honest. None of them is honest. Maybe Cosmic Skeptic is honest. I don't know. Like, ask yourself, and Dr. Avi are vegans, so they're not honest. Shapiro is a religionist. He's not honest. People who are something are not honest. If you,
what is the story behind your name, bro? Your name.
It doesn't matter.
Mr. Slave.
You can look at my channel. Look at my old videos.
Slave.
No, it's not important. You can go watch my old videos. I went through this many times, so it's not important. Don't care to discuss it.
Bro, I will to go bathroom. Do you need anything?
No, you can come back. I'm here.
Good luck, bro.
Yeah, I'll see you. Bye. Okay, so let's get back to this. This is so great. So I can do like work on a paper, answer questions in the chat, really deep questions, really, like great feedback. Then people come by my server and want to have a discussion and hear my opinion about the universe and truth and philosophy. This is great. Humanity has never had something so amazing. This is so amazing. But hopefully we'll get this paper out, and this paper will create a shockwave, enough of a shockwave to seriously transform science. I hope to fix science, really rebuild science properly. Because right now, Einstein, the way I see it, Einstein built all of modern science. But Einstein built modern science like an upside down pyramid. This upside down pyramid relies on this nonsensical idea of the constant speed of light, as if it's a postulate. So that's how I see science. The edifice, the construct known as science, Einstein built an upside down universe, an upside down science universe that is all relying on a nonsensical assumption. And if I'm able to pull this from underneath then I can destroy this pyramid, completely destroy it. But as it falls down, hopefully it will look like this, like a normal pyramid. So hopefully we can stop. Right now, science is magical. Science has deteriorated and degenerated into the original magical thinking from which it came. Science originally, I think, came from religion. It started from religion. It started from the clergy. The whole notion of clergy and God, I think that's where science began. That is the root of science. And and through the Enlightenment, because of the Black Death, the Black Plague, the Great Death of Europe, that created the European Enlightenment. Before that, we had the Muslim Enlightenment. That was also very successful, but that died out. And then we had the European Enlightenment, but that died out because of Einstein. So hopefully this time it's going to be my turn to fix things. So hopefully we can destroy this pyramid and build it right side up. Because right now science is based on magic. Whenever you listen to an introduction to modern physics, this universe is weird. This universe is counterintuitive. This universe is even weirder than we could have imagined it could be weird. Nonsense like that. That has to stop. Because that is the destruction of modern civilization. Because you talk to people and people believe in this nonsense. Oh, Woody Johnson repealing the 19th. Who wants to discuss it? YouTube, Woody. Let's see who's discussing it.
Takes place in the future. The government.
99 people are watching this guy.
You have to serve 2 years.
What's his name? Chaotic Truth Live with 10,000 subscribers. Okay. Let me ask him if he wants me to join. Do you want me to join? Do you want me to join? Is there a way? Does he give a link to join? Trump ad breaks the internet.
Slave, how do you want me to join? I'm gonna drop the link in a minute. Wait for.
Oh, he's showing my comment. That's nice. Well, I didn't listen to his show. He wants to repeal the 19th Amendment. That's not gonna happen. Okay, but it should. He has my comment. He's showing my comment. He's highlighting my comment here. Let me show you. History. Where? Let me remove this. Share this. Wait, why can't I see it in the history? I'm watching it right now. Oh, there it is. Should women vote?
Women, typically, they ain't. Man, your average woman ain't.
My comment, Mr. Slave. Hi, do you want me to join? So he's gonna drop the link later. Okay. All right. So okay. We can have this running in the background. When he's ready to drop the link, we'll I'll try and join him. All right, so there you go. Okay, let's continue with the questions. Okay. So, well, there is no absolute rest. So that's what I intend to do. That's my intention. So I'd like to reverse the pyramid. So all of modern physics, whenever I think about special relativity, general relativity, quantum mechanics, it could be simplified, thoroughly simplified, if you just assume the ether. You guys aren't showing the vid. What vid? There's a vid? What vid? I don't know. Senis, what's up? Are you joining me? Anyway, so Senis is answering. What's up? Not now. Okay, what do you mean we're not showing the vid? Like, I was watching on my phone his video. I'm waiting for him to. Oh, yeah. I was showing this guy. This guy.
No goddamn politics. That's first and foremost. A lot of women are pretending. Women ain't into no goddamn politics. Your average woman cares about some idiotic drama show, some romantic book, or your average woman. Ask your average woman. Don't get creepy with it, but just go into a mall and say, "Hey, average woman, hey, who are the last 5 presidents of the United States?" No woman can tell you that. Your average woman couldn't tell you that because they ain't worried about no shit like that. Women are, and I'm not trying to sound like Kevin Samuels here, and I'm not, because I have a lot of women who watch, and I appreciate all of my women's support. Appreciate you, broads.
Yeah, that's not the solution. I understand he thinks that's the solution. Look, the solution is to free the economy. So how are you going to free the economy? This is what you need. What you need to get done is free the economy. How are you going to do that? So you think if you take away the 19th Amendment, you're going to have a freer economy? I don't know. But you shouldn't concentrate on anything. You shouldn't divert any firepower except for freeing the economy. Freeing the economy will resolve everything. So all your firepower should be on freeing the economy, nothing else. You're diverting from your target. And I don't see the point in that. That's not a good strategy. You need to have a good strategy. Where do you want to go? You want a freer economy. Freer economy is better for everyone. It's just better, right? Everybody's going to be wealthier. You're going to have a bigger house, jet, yacht. Your life will just be much better. Our average quality of life will be much higher, and it will grow higher. You can't even imagine. I can't imagine where it's going to go. Imagine 10% year over year GDP per capita growth, 20%, 100%, 1,000%, 1,000,000%. Imagine things that we cannot imagine. We cannot imagine where we could go. Unfortunately, it's hopeless. We know it can never work out. Anyway, so let's get back. That's what I was discussing. So that's the guy I was watching. So maybe he'll invite me to his show. I don't know. Anyway, this is just for clout. This is just to get my, but I don't know if I'm doing science. So, but I do debates and I do economics. Economics is a science. So I'd love to talk about the economics. But right now we need to talk about where science went wrong. We have to fix that. And we have a chance to fix it. So that's all I want to do right now. Let me see. There's a Gmail, another email. Let's see. Where's the Gmail that just came in? What is this? I'm reading a legal document just came in. Let's see. It's difficult to tell what's going on, how much. I don't know what's going on here. This looks like that is the original. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, I don't know. Whatever. It's whatever. Okay, let me just share the document with everyone. 1 second. What's the name? Okay, so it's gotta be this. All right. Okay. Done. Okay. That was interesting. So, let me read more comments. Well, there is no absolute rest. You cannot be at absolute rest. Where is the place in the universe that is not moving? So you're not buying my theory of ether. So why do you say that? I don't know. I don't know your position. You say all things are waves. Waves are not absolutely at rest. I mean, I'm not saying the waves are absolutely at rest necessarily, but if we're defining absolute rest as the ether, then if a wave is, then you can measure the ether using an interferometer. A good interferometer will give you the reading of the ether, and then you could find that you're at rest relative to the ether. And you can build a very accurate interferometer and discover, it could be, I discussed this already, it could be a new form of science, a new telescope, a new way to study the universe just by studying the ether, just by studying where it's moving. And you could discover, I don't know what. You could discover, like waves, no, because we have LIGO to discover waves in ether. But it's more to discover the winds So LIGO doesn't discover the winds in the ether because LIGO doesn't rotate. If LIGO rotated, then you could discover winds in the ether, but only in the horizontal direction. We could build an ether detector that is handheld with the highest energy, with gamma rays, but I don't know if you can have gamma rays in a handheld device. I don't know what that entails. It's like it needs to be, I think, real. Like you need a really, really hot filament. I don't know how that would work. I don't remember how X-rays work. You need one level above X-ray, even smaller waves than X-rays. I forgot how they created the X-rays. So anyway, you need you could use gamma rays and huge arms in space that would rotate, and then you could get some serious readings about the winds of the ether. And who knows what we'll discover? I don't know what you can see. Probably dark matter. Because I haven't solved dark matter, but it sounds like some effect of the ether. So dark energy is clearly ether. Einstein, if you don't have dark energy, then the universe collapses, according to According to GR, the universe collapses because space keeps collapsing into massive objects, into energy and massive objects distort space by the way people say, but what that really means is they're annihilating the ether. Right now the ether is flowing into the earth and is being annihilated. A new ether, if there's no new ether coming about all the time through dark energy, then the universe will shrink and will collapse on itself. Not even into a black hole. It's worse than a black hole. A black hole has space. Still space is just flowing very fast. No, the universe would become crushed. You would lose the very universe. The universe is the ether, and what we see as matter, that's just waves in the ether. That's the universe. The universe is that is the universe. So if we didn't have dark energy, the universe collapses and it's gone. Poof. But so dark energy is predicted by lambdas, the lambda term in Einstein's GR equations, field equations. But dark matter, that's not predicted. So we might be able to discover dark matter with a good interferometer, like a huge gamma ray interferometer. That might give us, readings that we would see. I don't know what we would see. We would probably see the zero. It has maybe to do with dark energy, but it seems to always be flowing. I don't know. It's like maybe because the ether seems to have a mass. So if it's moving, if it's being dragged into the galaxy, into the globular cluster, or at least if it's being dragged into the galaxy, it's accelerating as it's flowing into the galaxy. And the question is, as it's accelerating, is it or is it not gaining relativistic mass relative to the galaxy? So the galaxy might feel that the ether weighs more, is more massive because it's moving relative to the galaxy. So the question is, if a wave is moving relative to the ether, is the wave noticing that the ether is heavier, more massive? I don't think we notice anything about. The only thing I can predict about noticing the ether is using an interferometer. That's comparing two light waves, two light beams that are perpendicular, comparing basically their final wavelength, the interference between their waving. So that's the only way I know how to detect the ether. We can detect the waves in the ether, but that's not the ether. I mean, gravitational waves, we can detect them, and electromagnetic waves, we can detect them. The question is, what about just detecting the ether, like its mass, the particles that make it up, the forces between them? What do these particles look like? Because I was thinking about it. These particles might not be balls connected with springs. They might be more complex than balls, and that would give you all types of what do you call it? Motion. Like, imagine weird shapes that are vibrating. These vibrations would be weird as the shapes, and then the interactions would be weird, and you would get all types of like effects. But I don't know. Anyway, how would we study that? I don't know of any way to study the ether except for the interferometer, but maybe there's other ways to study the ether. I mean, we know that it flows faster near massive particles, near energy. We know that it speeds up. It's possible with a big enough interferometer, you can measure gravity. It's basically a GR meter. It's a general relativity meter, because it measures the fabric of reality, the fabric of space, or the fabric of space-time, as modern physicists incorrectly call it. So the question is, how else would we be able to study the ether besides an interferometer? I don't know. I mean, I would always have 3 interferometers in the 3 planes. Let me go check, see if this guy, if he has a link. How many people are watching? 124 people watching. That's a big show. He still has, no, he probably doesn't. OB32.
All right. Is that better? Fingers crossed.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to say on that. And then the abortion thing.
Oh, so he says call in by clicking this. Wondering, should I do it? Should I join the show? Maybe just for a little bit. Let me click it. So, continue with YouTube. Continue. Wait, you're not going to be able to see this. How would I do this? Okay, but I would be able to stream. I can't stream both, him and me. I would need to stream me, but I can't stream. How would I do this? How would I do this? I don't know how to do this. And I don't want to mess it up so that we destroy this stream. Let me try. Continue with YouTube. Let me go with my original account. Wow, my laptop is burning. It was the worst choice of laptop ever. Let me confirm on my phone with the two-way authentication. What is the number? Okay. Okay. We're signed in. Are we signed in? Let's continue. I don't know. What will it... Okay, it looks okay. I think it looks... The question is... Wait, why can't I lower the volume? Hang on. What's going on? I can't hear more. Why is it so loud? Oh my God, hurting my ear. So loud. Stage, only the host can see you. The host may act with the stage and may not be ready. I don't know how to. I don't know. Oh, what's going on? On my laptop, it says
Death. I said, what if that was a cadaver body? How do we really know that that boy really existed? I've always asked these types of questions growing up.
Right.
Yeah. Do you mean to tell me his uncle was such a bitch that he just let these two white boys come up in his house and do it? I've always asked these. I'm like, the black man can't be that much of a sucker. And so I've always asked these questions, man. It's just odd to me, because had those been two niggas, he would have had a shootout with them. He'd have had a shootout. It would have been a shootout. It would have been a shootout.
Exactly.
So yeah, you wanted something here. Go ahead.
Let's see.
Yeah, Malcolm X and Rosa Parks both were trained by Marxists.
Keep it real.
I personally favored Malcolm X, and I always said when Malcolm died, black folks just lost their way, because for some reason, all this independent, I do my thing, I don't need nobody's opinion, I'm strong and independent, I float to my own too. But we need leadership. Look at the world right now. Half of these broads have grown up on the Bad Girls or Krishan Rock or the basketball housewives sluts. You know, they are not raising anything worth value anymore. I mean, I just get so mad. I see red at our society, because we didn't used to act like this by and large. You know, there was a small, very small percentage of throwaways in the black race. And stop calling us community. Community cares about each other. We're black folks in a neighborhood. We don't care about each other.
Do you think that the founders, when they originally wrote the Constitution, they excluded enslaved people? They also they didn't mention women. They said freed men. Do you think that there was a reason why they didn't include women, like freed? I mean, obviously, freed women or land owning. Do you think that they saw it? They really knew that women weren't.
Wait, the question
capable
is,
of
hear me when I'm speaking.
Voting intelligently enough. Go ahead.
Check 1, 2, 3,
Believe
4,
it
5,
or not,
6,
the
7,
founding
8,
fathers actually believed in the Bible. I know there were a few Masons that came along, and history is agreed upon set of lies. I get that part, but the most part of them were believers of the Bible. So yes, I believe they wrote that in there because they follow the guidance of the Lord, you know. We don't have a role in the forefront. We are helpmates. We're supposed to be in the background.
Yeah,
you know.
I agree.
And now that somehow we got our I know how we got it. Norma McCorvey. You know, what's that other heifer's name that I couldn't stand? Gloria Steinem. I think I was the only woman back then that could not stand that woman. I'm like, what are you gonna do if you don't have family? Life is not worth living without family.
Nothing I can do here.
And I would love for people to get a concept of what you want to aspire to have as you get older. Because right now, all they're looking at, I mean, marketing firms have gotten women in their 50s and 60s trying to be teenagers, wearing crop tops with stretch marks and shit. You know?
I remember when she's dead now, but I remember when
cannot control this.
Suzanne Summers posed naked. I almost threw up. I said, ugh. Yeah, I almost threw up. I was like, what the hell? Why? Like, but again, promoting liberals. She's out in Hollywood. Oh, Suzanne, you are still the same woman from the 7th lying to her.
Lying.
Yeah, you're correct. They're trying to promote even promiscuity and whoredom to older women to keep it going. Yeah, older women can do it. Anybody can do it now. Yeah.
I uploaded on my channel Hattie, an 86-year-old hoe. Literally, she's out here flouncing around at 86.
Yeah,
and I'm still trying to figure out the guy that goes for that.
Stanley with the $5. This is a real soul sister, a Soel sister, as bad a historian as Uncle Tom Soel. Shut up, Stanley. But positivity is definitely coming your way, man. Get the money. So Stanley is calling you. You know who Soul is, right?
Yes, I just mentioned him. Thomas Sowell. Yeah,
Thomas Sowell. So he's saying that you are. Yeah, he said you are as bad as a historian as Uncle Thomas Sowell. What do you think about his rude statement here?
Oh, what I could was not share him.
He's got half a brain. You know, thank you for the $5 for letting me say that you got half a brain, Stanley.
I guess we could do that. We can share. Share the paper. I'm hearing him in the back. You're not hearing him. So. Yeah. I think you can hear him through my headset. I cannot lower the volume. I cannot change the volume. This is so weird. It's weird. It's not letting me change the volume in my headset. Terrible. Anyway, so I'm saying here, well, there is no absolute rest. You cannot be at absolute rest. Yeah, this is what they teach. Where is the place in the universe that is not? Anyway, so, the asymmetry. Yeah, we know that one. If a charged particle doesn't move, it has a field higher. Has no electrical charge. Oh, okay. So they cannot interact, but they do because the electrons. So a moving electron creates a magnetic field. So if a charge doesn't move, it has no magnetic field. But if I'm moving it does. Where does this magnetic field go? Okay. So he explains this. So how do we explain it? That's a good question. I didn't get to it yet. I didn't explain it, but okay. We need to get to it. I need to be able to explain. I mean, Maxwell is explained through the ether. I mean, Maxwell is based on the ether. So Maxwell is based on the ether. So Maxwell predicts that you should be able to, whatever we know how it works. So what's the question? Maxwell predicts that you are able to move relative to the electron, or the electron moves relative to you. Either way, you get a magnetic field. So what's the question? Ask Maxwell. Maxwell says that is what should happen. Maxwell just summarizes what does happen. Maxwell is just a summary of our experiments. So, okay. So what's the question? What is the question? I don't know what the question is. I don't know what to. It says, well, we know in reality. So the question is, why does a magnetic field arise? I'm moving relative to another. Where does the magnet come from? A good question. But I don't know. So according to Einstein, everything is relative. There is no absolute, and it doesn't matter who in whose coordinates system. There is no preferred coordinate system. Everybody is clearly addressed. Or so why? I mean, we know why. It's because when electrons move, when electrons they become more. You see. There's other people that can't see. That I have. So there's probably many people. I gotta go.
My parents were married for like 59 years, and my wife just died. My mother just died last January. My father's.
Okay. Yeah, it's impossible. I can't wait forever. If I could mute it, it's different, but I can't function like this. It's too much. It's yelling in my ear. I cannot control the audio. Let me see if I can now control the audio. Still nothing. So something is wrong with the audio. Oh. Maybe it's because I'm playing in the background the background music. Maybe the background music is causing this issue. So let's go to banners or brand. Stop the music. No, I cannot control the music. Nor can I change the volume. I don't know. Nothing. It's like my laptop has decided that I cannot change the volume. And it says 0, but it's really very painful. My ears are blowing up. I don't know. And I cannot turn off the audio. I cannot mute the speaker. What is going on? Windows Sonic, spatial, speakers, output device. Everything is on max. Let's put everything F. Okay, volume, speaker. What is going on? Volume 30%. I don't know. Mm, there's no. I cannot control it. I don't know what's going on. Right channel, left channel, volume. I don't know what's going on. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. Really weird. I usually am able to change the volume through my USB. So weird. I don't know. Okay. Forget it. Okay. I'm gonna kill his channel. I don't care. Okay. So let's get back to listening to music. Maybe the music started this mess. Um, Interesting. Okay, so the asymmetry. So we know from reality that it doesn't matter if you move into an electron, if an electron moves towards you, there's no difference. So why is that confusing? The question is, what creates the magnetic field? When an electron moves, use your fingers to curl around the motion, put your thumb towards the motion, and that's the direction of the magnetic field. That is how it behaves. Now, Einstein explained, I didn't look into it enough. I don't know. But if this is what he means is the problem, I don't know. I honestly don't know. The speed of light is confusing. Anything else, I don't know. I don't know. Next question. Where are the questions? I wish. So I have to search for the currently selected question. I don't know where it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Next question. So the wave too heavy to move was the mc squared square root 1. Okay. Thing is when v is close to c, the w, the work to move the wave, gets too big to move the object. Yeah, he said that. He said that you cannot move faster than light because of that. Fine, but everything is based on a weird postulate. The speed of light is constant for all moving inertial observers. Why would you say that? Where did this rule come from? Okay, Einstein used the word photon. He did the photoelectric paper in 1905 alongside this paper we see on screen. I heard that he did not invent the name photon. Photoelectric effect? Yeah, I think you're right. Okay. So, who came up with the word photon? Question. 1920. So according to the source, the term photon was coined by Gilbert Newton Lewis, an American physical chemist, 1926. There you go. Lewis is credited with popularizing the term in the physics community, and it gained widespread acceptance by the late 1920s. While Einstein's work on the photoelectric effect 1905 and Planck's introduction of quanta 1900 laid the foundation for the concept of photons, Lewis is specifically recognized for coining the term. This is evident from multiple sources, including blah, blah, blah. Well, that's it. That's what I heard. So that's it. Okay, next question. We don't need, how is my audio? I constantly check my audio. Let me check. Okay, my audio seems to be okay. Nicholas, I don't know. I mean, I didn't look at your questions, but make sure you're not asking again all the questions about something that I have nothing to say about. Okay, so we don't need this. We just need wave mechanics. In science, we know that 1 plus 1 is 2, but if you can prove it in a more complex way, that is good. It proves the obvious. Proving the obvious is good. I don't even know what you're talking about, but that's irrelevant. I'm not commenting on what you just said, but that's irrelevant. Einstein made an assumption. He pulled it out of thin air. And on top of that assumption, he created the theory of special relativity. I prove this assumption. I show that it comes out of the ether, which fits in with everything we know. If you say there is no ether, that goes against everything we know. How does the apple fall towards the earth? Why does the apple accelerate towards the earth? Without ether, I don't know how to answer that question. Ether makes it very simple to answer. It's a simple mechanical solution to this problem. I don't know how else to answer why the apple falls towards the earth. How does light propagate through empty space? I don't know how to answer that. Light propagating through a fluid medium like the ether, that's very straightforward. What is the quantum particle wave duality? I don't know. That's like the weirdest thing I've ever heard of. But if you assume everything is a wave through the ether, then it's very simple. Everything is a wave, except for when you interact with it, this wave collapses and you have a point interaction. You know, it makes it you know, you can at least it makes some sense. But just to tell me you get particle wave duality, why? What causes this? This is like you're pulling things out of thin air. That's the problem I have. So regardless of what you said, now what you said I think is absolutely wrong. We never want anything. We don't like complicated explanations, because here's the proof we don't like or it's useless. Because every complex explanation I can always make more complex. I can always say that your explanation, we can add to it that 1 equals 1. It's still true, it's just more complex. What I added, of course, is irrelevant, but you know, it's now the proof is more complex. I added the identity 1 equals 1. I didn't add any more information into the discussion, but according to you, it's a more complex, so it's better to have more, you know, more ways to understand. That's obviously ridiculous. Okay, next comment. So section 3 is just how the math converted from one point of view to the other to prove they have the same basic math. Okay, I mean, you're welcome maybe later after work to join me and we can go through the paper and you can explain it. That'd be terrific. Okay, Einstein knows that light is a wave of Maxwell's electrodynamics and Newtonian mechanics. So the ether Einstein believes is in Maxwell's ether. He explicitly says in paragraph 2 that it is not necessitated. He uses the word superfluous, doesn't he? Let me check. This is just paragraph 2. So paragraph 2, examples of this sort together with the unsuccessful, and there you go, together with the unsuccessful attempts to discover any motion of the Earth relatively to the light medium suggest that the phenomena of electrodynamics as well as mechanics possesses no properties corresponding to the idea of absolute rest. They suggest rather that, as has already been shown to the first order of small quantities, the same laws of electrodynamics and optics will be valid for all frames of reference for which the equations of mechanics hold good. One second, this is irrelevant. We will raise this conjecture. This is the Galilean conjecture that the laws of physics are constant. the purport of which will hereafter be called principle of this is the principle of Galilean relativity, to the status of postulate. Okay, that's fine. And also introduce another postulate, which is only apparently irreconcilable with the former. Right? It goes against the former postulate. The principle of relativity goes against, namely that light is always propagated in empty space with a definite velocity c, which is independent of the state of motion of the emitting body. So he says here, empty space. Empty space. So these two postulates suffice for the attainment of a simple and consistent theory of the electrodynamics of moving bodies based on Maxwell's theory for stationary bodies. The introduction of a luminiferous ether will prove to be superfluous. There you go. And as much as the view here to be developed will not require an absolutely stationary space provided with special properties, nor assign a velocity vector to a point of the empty space in which electromagnetic processes take place. The theory to be developed is based, like all electrodynamics, on the kinematics of the rigid body, since the assertions of any such theory have to do with the relationships between rigid bodies, systems of coordinates, clocks, and electromagnetic processes. Insufficient consideration of this circumstance lies at the root of the difficulties which the electrodynamics of moving bodies blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so what are you saying? So you're saying, wait, let me scroll back so we see something. So you're saying Einstein knows that light is a wave of Maxwell's electrodynamics in Newtonian mechanics, so the ether Einstein believes in is in Maxwell's theory. Ether. That's literally against what he just said. So you need to take this up with Einstein. The introduction of luminiferous ether will prove to be superfluous, inasmuch as the view here to be developed will not require an absolutely stationary space provided with special properties, nor, I wish I could show these two pages at the same time, nor, maybe I can do F11? No, that's still not enough. Nor assign a velocity vector, we don't care about a velocity vector, to a point of the empty space. I mean, in general relativity, I believe that he invented the fabric of space-time, and that is the ether, but he didn't really develop it, not even in his own mind. Anyway, but you see here that the introduction of a luminiferous ether will prove to be superfluous, inasmuch as the view here to be developed will not require an absolutely stationary space provided with special properties. So there is no stationary space, whatever. So there you go. You don't need, I don't need to debate you. Einstein debates you. I'm going to let Einstein debate you. So you and Einstein disagree on Einstein. So Einstein knows that light is a wave of Maxwell's electrodynamics in Newtonian mechanics. So the ether Einstein believes in is Maxwell's ether. Well, Einstein says that it's superfluous. So Maxwell would disagree that it's superfluous. So Einstein is disagreeing with you and with Maxwell. So it's, you got to figure it out. I'm sitting this one out. Except for, of course, Einstein is being unscientific here. This is anti-scientific. This is unscientific. This is it's not English. You cannot have a wave without a medium. The definition of a wave is the propagation of energy through a medium. That's the definition of a wave. So So Einstein at this point is creating a very weird universe. This is the beginning of this weird universe. This is where science took a very bad turn. And this is what hopefully our paper will fix. Okay, the translation doesn't say photon because photon is a German word which translated to light. Okay, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, whatever you want. I mean, the ChatGPT or Google or Brave, they say that it's somebody created this word towards 1930, like just before World War II or something. The translation doesn't say photon because photon is a German word which translated to light in the early English copy. Einstein literally wrote the photoelectric effect paper. LOL. Well, okay, how? I don't remember. How did we get to this discussion? I mean, why should we care who created a word? I don't remember how we got to this discussion. Okay, P is the pressure of light. Light can move bodies, which this paper is partial about. Photons push things with Brownian motion. Okay. So this paper concludes that photons exist. You think this paper introduces photons? Or it talks about photons? How can he hasn't introduced, photons don't show up, photo doesn't show up, yeah. So phenomenon, yeah, but you're saying you is saying what are you saying? I don't see. Okay, you're saying P. Let's look for P. P. Where's P? P. 27. There's 27, but he's just showing me the square root when I look for P. Where is P? Or maybe P equals? P equals. Oh, that is what you're referring to. The difference of those two expressions is by the principle of energy, the work done by the pressure of light in the unit of time. If we set down this work as equal to the product P, is it PV or P nu, where P is the pressure of light, we obtain, oh, it's V, okay. So P, in agreement with experiment and with other theories, we obtain to a first approximation, P is that. All problems in the optics, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I don't know. The energy measured in the stationary system, which is incident upon unit area, blah, blah, blah. All right, I don't know. I don't have a position on this yet. P is the pressure of light. Why are you bringing this up? Light can move bodies, which this paper is partial about. Photons push things in Brownian. Okay, I'm not taking a side on this and whether he brought up a photon in this paper. I'm not anti-science. Anything that has been experimentally verified, I'm not going to deny. So I don't deny photons. Photons, I didn't look into it. They seem, theoretically, not theoretically, but the way that I understand, they explain the photoelectric effect. I didn't look into that. I've heard many people try to explain it, but I don't see why you need a photon to explain the photoelectric effect. So I'm not convinced by that yet. You're welcome to join me and explain to me why we need a photon to explain the photoelectric effect. I just don't see it. I think high energy waves can explain it just as well. So I don't know what to say. Clocks falling experiments are done every second. Your kitchen clocks are falling down to the ground. They are just currently stuck to the wall. I didn't say. No, I'm saying they never tested a clock under acceleration, not under gravity. So they seem to say that they tested clocks in gravity and they showed that they tick slower. I don't know, but clocks under acceleration that is not gravitational, did you check that? So I believe you're not going to get the equivalence principle. Einstein's happiest thought, I think, my intuition is it's wrong. And I mean, if you assume ether, I think it's wrong. Because ether doesn't care about your acceleration. Ether only cares about your absolute motion through the ether. The fact, right? The rubber ducky moving through the water, the clock slows down. Nothing happens because of acceleration through water. Acceleration through the water has no impact. So Einstein's thought experiment of the guy cleaning the windows falling and whatever his happiest thought, I don't think that's relevant. I don't think that leads to anything. I can develop general relativity, I think, directly from Galileo and from Newton. So I don't need the equivalence. I have Galileo's equivalence principle. I don't need Einstein's equivalence principle. Galileo proved that all bodies, no matter what their weight, fall at the same rate as long as they have an infinitesimal mass, a non-zero mass. That is the Galilean equivalence principle. And from that I can derive GR. I can also derive GR from just looking at an apple falling and asking Newton's question, why is the apple falling? The only explanation is the ether. The ether is flowing through the apple into the center of the earth. It's dragging the apple along. And that's why it's dragging everything. The question is, why is it dragging light? So the answer is because light is infinite, has an infinitesimal mass. It has a non-zero, at least a non-zero infinitesimal mass. If this is true, then the ether should drag light. Does the ether drag light? So we know that the ether drags light. We know this from the famous experiment that made Einstein famous, that they discovered the sun, the total eclipse of the sun. They noticed stars behind the sun and should not have been behind the sun. It should have been hidden by the sun. They saw it next to the sun during the total eclipse, or something like that. So we know that light bends under gravity. Light bends. So, and if we assume gravity is the ether, then light bends with the motion of the ether. So if light bends with the motion of the ether, if you would say light doesn't have any mass, but you don't need mass. Wait a minute. You don't need. If you understand here's the answer. No, I'm wrong. Light could be completely massless. It could be absolute zero. Here's the proof. Because we know that, we don't know, but my theory of gravity is that the ether flows into the earth. Okay, but everything else is a wave. So light is waving through the ether. So, of course, light will bend. Of course, light bends. It has nothing to do with mass. It has to do with the fact that light waves through the ether. So if the medium moves, then light bends, and that's the answer. Okay, let me prove it, because it took me a long time to figure this out. I was always thinking, what's the proof that light be massless? How can I show that light could be massless yet be bent by gravity? How can we prove that? Okay, I'm beginning to become extra hungry. So we're gonna take a break shortly, even though we're being joined right now by six good men and women. But I do need to eat the foods. Maybe I'll go grab something instead of making a full blast meal. I don't know yet. Because I don't want to lose 6 people. Because usually when I come back, we have to rebuild the audience from scratch. I don't know where everybody's coming from. Is it because it's a long stream? I don't know where you guys are coming from. Anyway, let's prove. So this should be a separate paper. This would be a separate paper. As usual, everyone is welcome to write this paper. Just credit me so you're not plagiarizing. So you can become famous. Just write this paper. Do a good job. Okay, so here, what's the proof that light can be massless? Right. So by the Galilean equivalence principle, that does not show that light should fall towards the earth. So the Galilean equivalence principle says that if you have 1 kilo and another 1 kilo spheres, balls, then of course they should fall at the same rate. They weigh the same, they're the same mass, they should accelerate the same way towards the ground. Okay. Now, if you connect them and now it's a 2 kilo object, why would it fall faster? I mean, as long as if you have just the tiniest tether here, the tiniest tether, now it's one body, why would it suddenly drop it at a different rate? So Galileo proved from this through a thought experiment that all bodies, no matter what their mass is, should fall at the same rate. So the question is, what about a tiny body and a tiny, like a microscopic, what if it's almost zero? So by this argument, as long as it's not zero, you can argue, as long as it's above zero, given that the mass is bigger than zero, Galileo proves that it should fall. So a light beam is, even though it, right, as long as it's not zero, a light beam is allowed to approach zero, but not be zero. Now, mathematically, you could argue that's identical. I don't know. I don't think so. And at the end of the day, we're not talking about mathematics, we're talking about reality. So is light massless or is it not massless? Approaching zero is not zero by definition. So what is light? Is it massless or is it not massless? So according to the Galilean equivalence principle, light should bend, light should accelerate towards the ground, assuming that light has a non-zero mass. Okay, but what about if light has a zero mass? What if we wanted to drop this assumption? How would we prove that light should bend? Right, we know light bends. We know from the experiment that proved Einstein right. We know we had a total eclipse of the sun. And when we had that, we saw a star next to it that we knew astronomically should be behind the sun. So it showed up here. That means that if this is the sun, the light is bending. So when we look this way, we imagine the star to be here because the light bends. Okay, so we know light bends, but do we know that light is massless? Well, we don't know light is massless, but what if one day we discover light is... Do we allow light to be massless even though we know light bends, and by Galileo, only non-zero masses are allowed to bend? That's the question. the next hypothesis is Newtonian gravity. So Newton took his data, took his equations, built on Kepler, and Kepler built on Tycho Brahe. Tycho Brahe collected data about the motion of the planets. So if we follow Newtonian gravitational law, so Newton. That's not how you spell Newton. It's with a W. Newton. All right. So if you follow Newtonian gravity, then here is the argument. So you know by Newton that F equals ma, force equals mass times acceleration, and you also know this is the force that you have to. This is called the inertial force, and this is the inertial mass. But you know that the gravitational force is the mass, let's say, of the Earth times the mass, the inertial mass of the body, divided by the distance squared from the center of the mass. If you imagine the Earth to be a point mass, and you have a right, and this is where the Earth surface is, and what else? And you have a mass here. So this mass is attracted to the Earth, and the Earth is attracted to this mass with the same force. This is this force. Okay, what about light? So from Newton we can say that F, right, the force experienced, right, or the acceleration downwards of this body, if you let it go, it's going to accelerate downwards. And by the way, the Earth is going to accelerate upwards. But the Earth is accelerating a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, because this force is equal to this force. It takes a lot more to move the Earth. So the Earth is moving up just a little bit, but this, let's say 1 kilo ball is accelerating significantly. By the way, can you hear me? I'm not sharing it. I want to kill I don't know what to do. This happens to me so often. And no one is commenting. No one is telling me that I'm not sharing the right screen. Wonderful. Just wonderful. Well, I'm not going to repeat it. There you go. Not repeating it. Oh my God. This happens, and this is why we lost. From 6 people, we went to 2. Instead of people telling me, you're not sharing. This is why I need a live audience. Anyway, let me just finish it. So the acceleration is caused by gravity. So we can say that the force is ma, and it's equal to, there's a g missing here. It's equal to gmm over d, or r squared. And you can drop the m's, assuming m is not 0. So again, everything we can develop from this equation, we cannot assume that light is 0. We can say light bends as long as it's not 0, because otherwise we're dividing both sides by 0. And you're not allowed, right? You're dividing this by m and this by m. You're not allowed to, unless you're assuming it's not 0. So again, we cannot assume light is massless. All right, what's the next step? So the final proof, how do we know that light bends, but it doesn't need to be massless. It could be massless. It doesn't need to be non-zero mass. It could be non-zero mass. What's the proof? The proof is that light is a wave. So, but just by assuming light is a wave, not just light, everything is a wave, because everything is a wave. So if light does not interact at all with the Higgs, we don't know that, but if we cannot conclude because light bends that it has a mass. It could be that it bends even though it has no mass. Why? Because here is the Earth and the ether flows inwards, or this is the sun, and the ether flows into the sun, and the light beam, as it goes through this medium, the medium is moving. So it changes direction because of this medium. Does it? Does something change direction because of the change of direction of the medium? Wait a minute, that should not happen. This is a rotation. How could that happen? So maybe it shouldn't change. Maybe it should just change, right? So if it went through, it should move lower and lower and lower, but then continue straight, parallel to the original trajectory. So what would happen to a wave? So if this was just a normal wave, which light is, it's just a wave. As it goes through a medium that is flowing inwards, what should happen? Should this wave suddenly change direction and rotate? Maybe yes. Because don't forget that the speed of motion of the liquid, of the fluid here is big and here it's small. So this should continue going more straight than this. This should maybe it should rotate. Maybe, I don't know. We need to look into this. This is not for today's paper, so it's not important. Okay, we're back to 4 people. Okay, where were we? Let's continue. I want to finish. I can't finish answering all the questions. There's just too many questions, but these are important questions. Honestly, really only works. It makes up for my lack of intelligence. Waves are waves, my dude. Clocks falling. Okay. Section 2. I don't know what you're talking about here, clocks falling. As far as I know, no one has ever taken a clock and accelerated it and noticed that it slowed down. I looked it up yesterday, and the only experiment we have is that from particle accelerators. But I didn't look into it. My intuition is that it's wrong. That the equivalence principle is wrong. I can understand GR from fluid dynamics, from the ether theory. Ether is, I came to ether from a theory of gravity. So, I have no need for the equivalent, for Einstein's equivalence principle. I just don't need it. I don't know why anyone needs it. Honestly, I just don't know. I don't know what you mean, section 2. The History of Relativity video by XU. Who's XU? It's pretty good at explaining Einstein's original work and doesn't do that same YouTube talking point crap. I don't know what you're talking about. Who is XU? I don't know. Waves are waves, my dude. What do you mean waves are waves? I don't know what I don't have context. Same equations and everything. I don't know. I forgot already what we were talking about. On the electrodynamics of moving bodies, he is just saying that if Maxwell is correct, then electromagnetic waves are always c. But Galileo says moving requires adding velocity. But Maxwell, c plus velocity is not electromagnetic. What? Are you saying Einstein says he doesn't need a medium for electromagnetic waves? On the electromagnetics of moving bodies, he's just saying that if Maxwell is correct, then electromagnetic waves are always c for all moving observers. Why would you say that? How could it be that? But Galileo says moving requires adding velocity. Well, Galileo said that about particles, but Maxwell, c plus velocity is not. Okay, I need to talk to you. I can't read. This is impossible to decipher. On the electrodynamics of moving bodies, he shows how Maxwell's c is c even when moving. So what do you mean he shows? It's a postulate. It's not even, he's postulating, he's just assuming it. So the electromagnetic experiment on a moving train reports an electromagnetic wave of c. Water waves are v water plus v train. I don't know what you're talking about. He postulates a constant speed of light for all inertial moving observers. That doesn't make any sense. That is counterintuitive. Does he say the word counterintuitive? Let me look. No, intuitive doesn't show up. What about the word counter? Encounters. I don't know. Next. I pick no heroes. What do you mean? You have to pick a side. I'm arguing with Einstein. Literally, he says there is no ether. I say there is. So you have to pick a side. I have my ether. You have your ether? I'm not on anyone's side. I just believe in Steel Manning to prove I'm right. I don't know. But you need to pick a side. Are you saying Einstein presented an ether theory in this paper? I don't think so. He says explicitly there is no ether. He says explicitly we don't need the ether. And he works very hard to avoid the ether. This entire paper is wave mechanics without ether. Wave mechanics without a medium. It's, it's magic. It's a magic trick. This paper is a magic trick. Honestly, really only works. It makes up for my lack of intelligence. I don't know what you mean. I use ChatGPT to generate the curves for my time dilation by factoring. Okay, again with the Planck. Stop. Nicholas, you have to stop. I am not reading your comments. I don't know what you're talking about. Hi, Nick. What's the equation? Okay. I still want an answer to how you can have absolute rest if everything is waving. The ether is the absolute rest by definition. Waving by definition is not rest. I'm not saying waving, but the ether is the definition of rest. The ether is the universe. At most, a standing wave appears to be at rest. Now, I'm not talking about a standing wave. I'm talking about an absolute rest that is defined by the ether. It's just a definition. I mean, even the word absolute needs to be defined in reference to what? So, the universe. The universe is the ether. Everything we see in the universe is waves in the ether. Okay, let's change the music. I love this. It's good music. It's really good stuff. I'm really enjoying this. Into space now. Okay, but I gotta go eat. It's not good for me to be so hungry for so long. Okay, everyone, please don't forget to hit the like, the share, the all the things, so that we grow the channel. I want to grow the channel. I don't know, just for fun. I'm here just for fun. I mean, if one day comes and I'll make money from this, that would be really, really nice. But I'm here just so that I can share my ideas with everyone. Hopefully, we'll be able to write papers together. My hope is to be able to write papers together. I want to be able to churn out paper after paper after paper, boom, 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 boom. So if we are, as a community, churning out these papers, we can knock down this inverted pyramid that is modern science, modern physics. All right. Wait, did I lose? Where's the... Okay. Very easily distracted, LOL. Who, me? When is this from? This is from... Oh, it's over an hour ago. What is the definition of a good interferometer? A good interferometer, I would say, is big. The bigger, the better. That's one. And two, it's high energy. The higher energy, the higher the energy, the better. That's two. Three is the sensors. Instead of having it optical, seeing the interference, you want to actually detect it with like really good detectors. Four is multiple mirrors. So I noticed that Michelson and Morley did four. They used four mirrors to get the things to go back and forth. So I would say if you can have many more mirrors, because every mirror you add, you're doubling the size. Doubling? No, you're adding another arm. You're adding, for every mirror, you're adding an arm. So that could be amazing if you could have, but the problem with outer space is it has to be a rigid body. I mean, you cannot just, like LIGO, it could just be three satellites communicating. That's fine. But an interferometer, it has to be basically like you actually need to use strings to connect it. So 1 kilometer, you can use a tiny string to connect your 4, I think 5 locations, because you need also at the center. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can connect it all with tiny strings. That's fine. But that's at 1 kilometer. But if you have multiple kilometers, then the string becomes very heavy. And how are you going to get it into space? And by the way, you don't want to be in Earth orbit. You don't even want to be in the sun's orbit, because the sun is dragging the ether too. You don't even want to be in the galactic orbit. You want to leave the galaxy. But it's fine. I mean, you can because of GR, so you can cancel out the effect of the Earth, of the moon, of the sun. You know what to cancel out, and then whatever you have left, that is what you are reading. That is your input. And then you can find out, I don't know what, like maybe dark matter. I don't know what you're going to discover. And what will it mean to discover dark matter? What are you going to discover? I mean, you are going to discover the flow of the ether into, I think you're going to discover a flow of the ether into the galaxy. And I don't know what's causing it. But how is that going to help? So what if the flow of ether itself, I don't think it could give you relativistic effects, even though the ether has a mass. But why would the ether not give you relativistic effects? So relativistic effects are the flow of the ether, right? The ether drags me. That is mass. That is weight. That is gravity. So if the ether is flowing into the galaxy, well, that is the gravity of the galaxy. But we know from dark matter that there's the flow of the ether is faster than it should be due to normal matter. So what's causing all this ether to be dragged into the galaxy, but it's not caused by normal, I think it's called hadron, is it, or fermion? Normal fermions. Like fermions interact with the Higgs, I think. So only fermions create an ether flow, gravitational pull, which is ether flow. So only fermions destroy. So something else is destroying the ether. The destruction of the ether is gravity. When ether is destroyed, then it flows into the point of destruction, of annihilation. It creates a low pressure in the ether topological map. So the question is, I don't know. I don't know about dark matter. I mean, I don't know how to solve. I'm stuck exactly where everybody else is stuck. I have one more tool in my toolbox than everybody else. I have the ether, but it's just another tool. I mean, it's basically GR. It's basically general relativity. So it's not like I really have something that no one else has. I can easily think about it, but they also have it. It's just for them, it's less intuitive. They use Einstein's math in order to see it, and I see it from first principles. Just because the apple accelerates towards the ground. So what is the definition of a good interferometer? These, the list that I gave. We should write a paper about this. What is a good one more thing, it needs to be in 3 planes. It needs to rotate in one plane, in another, in 3 planes. Vertical, horizontal, and the other one. So it needs to rotate in these 3 planes. It needs to be at 90 degrees, the usual things. Since all light-based interferometers detect nothing, I don't know why you say that. You mean detected? And I don't even know that. I don't have the raw data, and I don't know what they were looking for. Their theory of ether is not mine. They were looking for an ether wind. I don't believe in ether wind. Ether is gravity, as Einstein said in 1920 in his final paragraph. So the ether is the fabric from GR. So it is gravity. It is what is pulling the apple towards the ground. So, okay, since all light-based interferometers detect nothing, are they by definition not good? There is no good and bad. There is a spectrum. So they are, I know how to build. It's not only the interferometer. You need to have a theory of ether in order to predict predict the experiment. You can't just walk into an experiment, nilly-willy start an experiment. You need to have a prediction that you have come to test. Otherwise, I don't know what you're testing. You need to come with a theory that the ether is flowing from here to there at this speed, and so on. So I don't know. They thought it's an ether wind, and I don't know at what velocity, because their interferometer could not discover the wind, this wind they're talking about. So I don't know. I don't know. And why did anyone give them a Nobel Prize for what? What is the theory? They didn't have a theory. It's not a scientific discovery. What's the theory? That there is no ether? That's ridiculous. For a null experiment? That just means that your equipment is terrible. Show me the raw data. Show me the raw data. I hate it that people conduct experiments and spend so much time and energy and money, but then they don't they don't give us access to the original data. What's the point? Let's show us the original data. Maybe in their original data we can find a signal. I'm not saying yes, because I think their expectation didn't make any sense. There is no soul, there is no ether wind. There is no ether wind. There is most of the ether is flowing into the earth. A little bit is flowing away to the moon. That is the tides. A little bit is flowing into the sun. We should also have sun tides, just a little bit. But this is GR. GR says all these things. You don't need me to come up with the ether to say this. This is built into GR. GR says this. But then you should also have, so, but I don't know what they were looking for. So, but maybe in all of the nonsense they were doing, there was a signal. Show me the data, or somebody please build a good interferometer. Why we're talking so much? I mean, it would have been so easy. Just build a good interferometer. Like I don't have access to X-rays or to gamma rays. Build a gamma ray based big interferometer, and then we can talk, or put one in orbit, or send one into a sun orbit, something like that. But anyway, okay. Is this like saying a good unicorn detector detects unicorns? Look, I don't know what to tell you. So you have to take a side. You keep switching from your pro-ether to anti-ether. What's your side? Look, I don't have a problem. I'm not saying that I have evidence for the ether, but you also need to tell me how to disprove GR. You need to tell me how to disprove GR and how to disprove SR. You gotta tell me. I need to know because maybe all of your GR predicts all of my ether. I don't know. I need to know what do you predict, what do you not predict. And the day after I come with the discovery of ether, you're gonna tell me, oh, that's a correction to GR. Fine. So I don't know what to say at that point. If everything is a correction to GR, then you're right. Then I don't know. It's like if you're always gonna correct your retrograde of the Earth-centric model, then my sun-centric model is useless. You're right. If you're gonna go to the moon, not the moon, but if you're gonna go to another planet based on a retrograde sun-centric model, be my guest. I'm not saying you cannot do it. The sun-centric model is not correct. It's a better scientific. It's just by Occam's razor. It's just using Occam's razor's principle. It's a better scientific theory. That's all it is. It's not correct. It's correct by a non-scientific measure. Occam's razor is not. It's part of the definition of science, which is an axiomatic system. Science is an axiomatic system. So I cannot tell you that the Earth-centric is any less scientific than the sun-centric model. I mean, by definition of science, yes, but you can reject my definition of science and say, no, Occam's razor I don't care about Occam's razor. Then there's nothing I can say. So whatever I detect, you're gonna say, oh, that's unicorns. That's just GR. Yeah. And when we go to outer space, I will see this all the planets orbiting around Earth, and you're gonna say, no, the sun is orbiting the Earth. That's your interpretation. I can't stop you. So any evidence I find that the Earth is rotating, is orbiting the sun, you're gonna call that unicorns. Well, okay, then what do you want me to do? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to convince you unless you tell me how to convince you. If you tell me any evidence I bring to you is unicorns, then fine. Then I don't know how to convince you. Then you can stay with your paradigm. That's fine. But at the end of the day, people have to choose. So I'm going to explain to people how the apple falls towards the earth. I don't think you're going to be able to explain that. What are you going to say? It's the curvature of space-time? I've seen so many videos of on YouTube with the biggest geniuses who are pooping their pants trying to explain how the apple falls towards the earth. They can't. And I can easily do that. So how do you explain gravity? I mean, you can keep getting away with anything, but I don't know what to tell you. You can do whatever you want. There's a limit to how much I can convince you of anything. Okay, Nicholas continues with his Planck constant. Nick, is that the equation? Nick, science. Is that a yes, Nick? Nick, science. Oh, I did not see the formula. Science, Nick. Nick. Okay, so this is just a conversation between science and Nick. The postulate is not weird. It just says physics experiments don't change. No, I'm not questioning the postulate that physics doesn't change because you're moving. I mean, obviously, we see that's true. But why is it true? Why is it true? So, why is it true? What I mean, why are you assuming that? Based on what are you assuming that? How do you even explain physics? I don't even understand your electrodynamics. I don't understand your gravity. So I don't even understand your physics. You say you have these laws of physics that I don't understand. They're not mechanical. They're magical. You have magical laws of physics. I don't know. So you say, yeah, but they're constant. Why? Why would these laws be constant? They're magical. My physics is based on the ether. What's a mechanical explanation? Yours is, I don't. It's not based on anything. Mine is the ether seems to be everywhere, and everything we know is just the effect of the ether. So I'm assuming wherever there is ether, basically you'll get the universal laws of physics. And that's it. I don't know. I don't even know what drives your laws of physics. It's just magic. They are correct. They are constant because of magic. There's no cause. Nothing causes your laws of physics. Nothing causes your speed of light. What causes the speed of light to be the speed of light? Why is the speed of light not infinite? Why is your speed of light not infinite? Why is it finite? I don't know. But I don't know. For you just measure the speed of light. Okay, but explain the mechanics. If it's a vacuum, what's waving? Like, I don't understand. Look, I don't understand your physics. I'm sorry. So motion experiments need Galileo, but light somehow cannot use Galileo because Maxwell says you cannot add C plus V. I don't know who you're arguing with me or against me. Why does it keep going back to this guy? Okay, let me check. What's nothing. Good news, lots of good news. Let me see the markets today. What's going on with the markets? It's going up a little bit. Tesla is falling. Nvidia is going up a little bit. Okay. Psst, good news, good news. Good music. It's good to have this background. Something in the background is good. Let me pick the next batch of music. So this is going to be Feeding the Ducks. Okay. You're saying the postulate is not... I keep losing my spot in the comments. Okay, the postulate is not weird. It just says physics experiments don't change. So motion experiments need Galileo. But light somehow cannot use Galileo because I don't know whose side you're arguing on. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit hungry. Gotta go eat. It is not Einstein's assumption that light is C and physics is the same. Everyone knew these two facts from Maxwell and Galileo and Newton. But electromagnetism C cannot have plus or minus V. What do you mean it's not Einstein's assumption? Einstein came up with this assumption. Lorentz, yeah. But they had the ether. They were working. Lorentz was working within the ether. Then Einstein came and said, "We can do this without the ether. We can use the powers of magic." Fine. That's all I'm saying. Einstein just went back 1,000 years, back to the dark ages of magic. It is not from thin air. It was floating in the air for the last 150 years before Einstein. No way. The ether... Okay, I have a message. Let me check. Oh, there is a meeting today? What meeting? What are you talking about? Oh, very nice. We gotta go. So I gotta eat. Where? Oh, okay, we gotta go there. All right. Good. Okay, I gotta go. So I'm not gonna be able to read all the comments. I'm sorry. Science rediscovered. Okay. Very nice. Look, science rediscovered. This is nonsense. What you're saying is it's ahistoric. I don't know what you're talking about. No one thought of a universe. Maxwell is built on the notion of an ether. From Maxwell, you see the ether. I don't know if they saw the ether before. But even before then, from Young knew that light is a wave. So from Young, you see the ether. So there you go. Let me see what's the battery status. Oh my god, my battery's death to my battery. Okay. It is superfluous because Maxwell's experiments are always reporting C. Maxwell didn't do any experiments. Maxwell did only theory, only math. So he concluded a bunch of experiments. He united them into equations. Are always reporting C, and so everywhere appears. I mean, he just took them and he created a wave equation out of them, from which you see C. And so everywhere appears to be at rest. I mean, okay, if everything is at rest and it's all different to other, then nothing is. Look, it was confusing. But Maxwell talks about the permeativity and permeability of space. That means there's something there. That is the ether. So he assumed the ether. The ether is implicit in Maxwell. The conclusion of the wave equation that travels at the speed of light, well, that's relative to the medium. So that's still not a problem. It's relative to the medium. Now the question is, what is the speed of the medium? And the interferometer should have discovered it, but it was not accurate enough. And they didn't have a good theory. They were looking for ether winds with different times of the day and different times of the year. Nick, okay, I gotta go. Einstein wrote the photoelectric effect, Brownian motion, electrodynamics of moving bodies, and inertia of mass. Einstein knew about light packets of waves. Sure. So how's that related? High energy. I'm not denying anything. High energy waves and the photoelectric effect are the same thing. Photons have energy and can give it to stuff and can knock an electron off the material when the photon frequency is right. All right. I don't deny the photoelectric effect. I don't know anything about it. If the ether makes apples fall, why do balloons fall? Well, it's relative. It makes everything fall, but some things fall more than others. The balloon falls less than air. That's the result. Just like a balloon floats in water, right? You're not going to deny gravity because a balloon floats in water. Science. I postulate that reality exists, and then I test if it is real. Are you thinking that the word postulate means fictional? I mean, postulate just means assumption. That's what I looked at. I looked it up. That's what it means. I postulate that reality exists, and then I test. Yeah, you postulate first, and then. But I don't think you test a postulate. What is just it's the foundation of a theory. You assume something in order to build a theory. If the theory is correct, makes right predictions, you say, okay, my assumption was correct. Okay, but your assumption is you pulled it out of thin air. What causes it? You have to give it a mechanical explanation. There is no mechanical explanation. 1 second, let me check messages. I have to listen to this.
אני לא בא, אחי, בדקתם בשבילך. אז מה, כאילו, להביא רק 2 שקיות קרח, כל אחד מביא מהסדר, תביא 2 שקיות קרח.
Okay, I gotta go. I got to go. Okay. What is your definition? It's just absolute rest is the ether. You cannot just say it is the ether. The ether doing what? No. This is definition. I'm defining at rest. I'm allowed to define things. You're not going to tell me I'm not allowed to define things. I mean, I'm a free person. If I cannot define things, then I'm not a free person. I'm not, what am I? The electromagnetic speed is the interaction of the electric and magnetic field. But what is a field? What does that mean? What is a field? What is that? Right? You agree that there is a field. This field is the ether. This is literally the ether. You just don't want to use the word ether. That's all. The electric and the magnetic fields are one and the same. It's the ether. It's a magnetic wave and an electric wave moving through the ether. What you call the field, I just call the ether. That's all. What you called the field of gravity, I call the field of ether. That's it. I'm saying you're not disagreeing with me. You're not disagreeing with me. You're just making it more difficult for yourself. This is like an Earth-centric model. You're not there's no disagreement. The permeability of the ether has an interaction speed of c always. Exactly. Whatever. Okay, last comment. Nick, okay, we're done. I'm going. I gotta get ready. Gotta eat. Gotta kill myself. All right, guys. I'll see you maybe later. Bye. Have an error card. Wait a moment. Then try again. Jesus. So all this time we had a bug. Wonderful. Wonderful. Just the best. All this time. There you go. So everything is fine. Everything is fine. All right, everyone. See you later. Bye.